Right, you welcome back from that break. This is Tvucc. I'm Louis Bakweni. You can call me the PDF. And I welcome you to the vetting. This is day 2 vetting exercise organized by the Graduate Student Association of University of Cape Coast. We are transmitting live from the Seminar 3, Seminar Room number 3. That is it. At the School of Graduate Studies of University of Cape Coast. That is it. Seminar Room 3. Yes. So if you are around this area, you can join us here. But if you're watching us and you want to stick to your screen, do remember to share your thought with us. Let's make it interactive, as I've been saying. And of course, if you have not subscribed to our channel, this is the time. Please subscribe to our channel, click on the notification icon, and of course, share the content. There's someone who is also interested. Right with me here is Robert Ikpin. He is a PhD candidate, a member of the Graduate Student Association of University of Cape Coast, former majority leader. He's a senator, former senator, right? Great. I want to interact with him for just about 1 minute. We'll do. Yeah. So on your microphone, and you're welcome.
Thank you, PDF.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
I want to ask if I'm also doing.
How are you doing too? I know you are fine because you have been here and seeing to it that things are in order. So I'm happy to see you.
Well, being here doesn't make me fine, but maybe we'll talk about that later.
Yes.
Let me have your view on this vetting. This is the first time that Tvucc is streaming Grasag vetting. What is your take on that?
Yes, so I must congratulate Tvucc. In fact, one of the reasons that I'm here is to see the crew of Tvucc because myself, the first vetting that took place, I lamented on the kind of gadgets an association like Grasag was using for vetting. So in that case, when I saw the notice on the platform that Tvucc was going to be here, I was so much happy. So I have to leave my room and come and see who are those people from Tvucc who are streaming this live. So I'm happy you are here, and I must commend you for this work you are doing.
Talking about the gadgets that in the previous vetting they used, don't you think we can in a way blame Senate? We are a member of Senate. You approved the budget, right?
Yes.
And so they do it according to what they have, their financial muscles, what they can afford for. That is what they spend on. So can't we blame Senate in a way?
Well, we cannot because we have not anticipated it in the first place.
Do you mean the executives don't tell you about it?
They do, but Senate has not anticipated this massive event that was coming. So as executives, if they had drawn our attention, we would have supported them massively because, of course, the budget they brought for Senate was approved. And we think that if they had given us more to believe that they needed something like this to conduct their exercise, we will support them. So going forward, as Senate, we have taken notice and
Senate has money.
Yes.
Senators, it is never too late to amend.
Yes, we will look at that. If you guys are really doing well, we have to ensure that your work keep going.
But what is your take on the vetting so far?
Yes, so far it's been good. I must commend those who have come, and I was watching them live online, and I think that they have provided insight to the activities of Grasag UCC. I'm hoping that other candidates will do same so that we have a competitive contest this year's election.
Great. Would you want to greet someone?
I want to commend the vetting committee, and I see the gallant men and women who are grilling the contestants, and I'm very happy for them. So especially kudos to the chair and the crew for the work they are doing.
Should we give you the seat for 5 minutes?
Oh, no. Once they are ready, I want to see how the contestants are coming to give us their visions.
All right. We're grateful for your time.
Yes. Thank you.
So right away, we'll hand over to the chairman of the vetting committee to continue with the exercise. But remember to always leave your comment at the comment section. I would be coming here to read them, but let's be decorous, right? You cannot write anything at all. Be decent. These intellectual grounds. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Afternoon, sir.
And how was the break?
It was fruitful. at least you had something small to keep us for the remaining session.
Okay. I'm not going to spend my time here.
Sure.
We'll leave everything in your hands. Later, I'll come and read my comments. So over to you.
Thank you very much. On this note, we welcome you all to the second session of today's vetting. We have two more aspirants to join us. And for the presidency, we have Team Sadiq and Team Michael to join us. In a moment, the next candidate you see is Team Sadiq. All right, so I know you all are having expectations from each of the teams, and as well as the vetting panel, you are expecting some kind of questions for us to ask them. You may not have all your questions, but as part of our strategy to assess our dear colleagues who are vying for these portfolios, we are looking at some specific areas. So you have some specific areas that you are looking at. One of it is the experience they have put into writing, where you normally say their CV, you have their appearance and their dressings, you have their experience and expression, their knowledge on financial regulations, then how innovative they are in their policies. Then you look at their general knowledge about the association and the office they want to handle. You look at their job specification, what their roles are, and what they are coming to do. And you look at their knowledge on the student handbook as a document that each and every student is supposed to have. Then you look at their knowledge on sexual harassment issues or regulations in the university. Then a bit of critical thinking or anything that will put them on their toes to tell us their competency as in how they are able to think on their feet. So these are basic areas we want to assess our dear friends. On that note, you say a big thank you to Tvucc for this avenue, for us to also go live through your platform. And you believe that our dear students watching us from afar are also going to enjoy the session. And we are pleading with you all to do us the honor to subscribe to the channel so that anytime you have engagement with Tvucc, you will be privy to them. We believe that after this session, there will be a debate session for all qualified aspirants. And you believe that Tvucc will come to our help again to telecast it. Let's stay tuned. You have in our midst Sadiq, Team Sadiq. In a minute, Team Sadiq, you want to introduce yourself and tell us your reason for coming here. Kindly on your mark. All right.
Thank you very much. My name is Abubakar Sadiq Idrisu, a first-year MPhil economics student with index number SE/ECP220001. We filed for nomination to contest for the position of Grasag presidency, and we are here to be vetted for. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You want to hear from the vice, the running mate.
My name is Priscilla Bemadate, and I'm a home economics student majoring in food and nutrition. And my registration number is ET/HEP/22/0029. Thank you.
All right. So you want to move on, but before then, I want us to start from. So, with your form submitted to the office of the EC, you have Peter Kojo Shreme. I hope the name is right.
Yes.
I'm talking to the vice.
Yes, please.
How well do you know Kojo Shreme?
Okay, thank you very much. Kojo Treme is my classmate in one of our education courses, and we usually meet as a class. That's how well I know. and I engage with him mostly when he goes to class as well.
So why is his name on your application form or nomination form?
Thank you very much. He is a part of our team, and he believes in our team and was willing to endorse us as well.
All right, so I'll make this clear to Team Sadiq. And it goes to the president, aspirant.
Yes, please.
When a question is posed to your vice president, you do not interrupt.
Thank you very much.
You are coming to handle the office of the association, and your duties are spelled out. When it is the role of the president does it perfectly and will not want the interruption of the vice president. You do same. When she is speaking, you give her the opportunity. Let her feel the weight and the experience over here so that when the mandate is given to her, she will feel responsible. You do not interfere with whatever she will be doing. All right. So, is it because he's part of your team that is why he endorsed you?
Thank you very much. He believes in our vision and our mission. That's why he probably.
So if you are to call him, he will tell us your vision and mission. You will take the pain to do at least one call today before the session goes to an end. So maybe you want us to call this person, or when you get to other places that you want to place a call, you give us the permit to call them. Will you want us to start with
Yes.
Kojo, Chairman? You should call him to tell us your vision and mission.
Yes.
Will he be able? You give us his contact. You can pick it from your phone if you have it. The vice president.
I don't have my phone here. It's in my bag
You don't have your phone,
here.
so you can make someone get your phone, then you pick the contact for us. But you have the contact on your phone.
Yes, please.
All right. So that is the informal session of the vetting period. So you begin with your CV,
Okay.
and Doc is leading us for that.
Sadiq,
Yes, Doc.
why are you laughing?
I don't know.
Anyway, you are welcome.
Thank you very much.
Sadiq and then Priscilla. Right, so you would have to submit your payment records to show that you are not owing the school. I hope you brought it.
Payment records of?
Yes, of fees.
No. No, we don't have it.
All right. So this was an information that was given to you that you are supposed to submit your payment record. Don't worry. You are supposed to put down your index number. Then I'll call you one after the other. You come and key in your password for us to confirm before you proceed.
Okay.
All right. So as Doc is leading us, one of you will come so that you do that. All right. So you want to start with the lady. So the gentleman will come. All right.
All right, Priscilla. I have your CV here. I think that to the best of my knowledge, the structure is okay. I think it's okay. But it had no title, so there was no title for the document. It's just your name that begins. Then also, there are no page numbers on the CV as well. Right. Now, moving in, I see that for your education, between September 2013 and then May 2016, you were at St. Louis, right?
Yes, please.
Am I correct?
Yes, please.
Right. And then between June 2018 and August 2018, you did a certificate in computer software.
Yes, please.
Now, first of all, I would like to know what happened between the break, between 2016 and then 2018.
Oh, okay. Between 2016 and 2018, I completed SHS in 2016, and after SHS, I didn't actually school. I was a teacher in one private school. So I was enrolled in 2017.
Okay. That is supposed to be Tvucc.
Yes,
Tvucc School of Excellence.
yes.
What were you teaching? What subject were you teaching?
I was a class 1 teacher.
Class 1 teacher.
Yes.
Oh, that's nice. You're able to handle uh, uh, situations under pressure.
Yes.
For you to be a class 1 teacher, you should be able to handle a lot of pressure. Were you able to do that?
Yes.
All right. Then let me come to your certificate in computer software. I don't know if you enlighten us on what software, what computer software certificate, what did you do?
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. With the Microsoft, I learned PowerPoint, Excel, and that of Word. That was what I learned.
So you still know PowerPoint.
Yes, please.
You'll be able to tell me how to insert a video in a PowerPoint.
Yes, please.
How would you do that?
And I wish I had a laptop, please. So that
You wish you had a computer,
a laptop.
a laptop.
So that I'll be able to-
I have a laptop here.
I can do that.
Yeah, so could you explain the processes you are going through for us?
Okay. So I'll go to insert. I'll first click in the, I'll first type my title, then go to the next page. In the next page, there are 2 tables. It depends on the layout you use. So I'll go to the next one. Then go to insert. Then go to choose videos.
Go on.
I want to listen.
Oh, okay.
So I choose a video from a file,
Okay.
in case you have a video on it.
Okay.
Then I select the video I think I prefer or I want to insert in it.
Okay.
Unfortunately,
All right.
it's
I
not-
think it's okay. Right. Thank you. Because your document is not numbered, I would have to just tell you, I would have mentioned the number, but it's not numbered. So where you have leadership experience, that is May 2023 to date, you say that you're a member of Global Shapers Cape Coast Hub, but there was nothing here to show what you do. What do you do?
Okay, thank you very much. Global Shapers, the main aim of Global Shapers is to ensure that the various communities within the Cape Coast is positively impacted by going to the various communities to know their challenges and try as much as they can to find solutions to these challenges. That's the core mandate of Global Shapers.
So what has been your own experience being part of the group?
Actually, we are still planning our project, but we had a program 2 weeks ago where some students, Lenovo sponsored some students to enroll in IT and various programs. So we went there to support them during their graduation. So for the meantime, that's the only thing we've done, that we are still planning our project to know how to.
Okay. Right. when I scanned through your CV, one of the roles that caught my eye was you were the vice president for Pax Romana,
Yes,
right? Between 2021 February and then October 2021, you were the vice president.
yes.
What were your roles as a vice president?
Thank you very much. As the vice president, you are the chairperson for the welfare committee. That's one of the key roles as a vice president. And you also ask when the president is not around. You are in charge of all beneficiaries and giving support to students who are in need as well. That's one of the key roles.
No, she's talking about Pax.
Please.
Yeah, that's what I asked. Okay. Oh, okay.
If I can push the constitution to you, past constitution. That's actually the roles of the vice president.
In the past,
Yes.
Romana.
Yes.
So, so my follow-up question would have been the experiences that you gain that would inform your work as a vice president of Grasag. What do you think? Are they similar?
Yes, please. They are. I believe they are.
In what sense?
Okay, thank you very much. Looking at the roles or the duties of a vice president in the Grasag Constitution and that of our Constitution, like they have similar roles. And I believe that my experiences in taking up these positions as the vice president, it will help me to attain this.
Specifically, what are some of the similar rules? What are the yes, what are the rules that overlap, the overlapping rules?
Being the welfare chairperson.
Okay. All right. Coming to your personal skills, right,
Yes.
on the CV, you write communication skills, excellent oral and written presentation. I'm suffering to understand what that means. Excellent oral and written presentation. I'm not able to understand. Maybe my English is that bad, but I'm not able to understand what this means. What does it mean?
Thank you very much. All I was trying to communicate is that I'm able to write well, and I'm able to also speak or communicate with people.
So that's excellent oral and written presentation. You've confused me even on your CV with what you've written, and then you are saying that you have skills that show that you are excellent in oral and written presentation. If it were so, I wouldn't be confused, would I?
I'm sure.
Yeah, so I think that then computer skills, you have good in the use of computers and electronics. What are you trying to convey here?
Okay. Thank you very much. All I'm trying to communicate is that I'm abreast with the use of electronic devices, like computer, smartphone.
To do what?
To help me with my academic work or whatever that I have to do with.
Right. I want to end with you with the last question, then I'll go to Sadiq. Right. Leadership skills. You write things here. Ability to lead effectively and efficiently through teamwork, innovation, good organizing skills. But innovation and good organizing skills, you have innovation starting with capital letters, and then there's nothing in between. Then you have good organizing skills also starting with capital letters. I don't know if it is one thing you wanted to write, or you would have dropped good organizing skills down, below innovation.
Actually, that was how it was.
It was supposed to be below
Yes.
innovation.
Yes.
Okay, so you may have to correct that. Right. But how do we verify this? That you can lead through teamwork, or you have good organizing skills or you are innovative. How do we verify this?
Thank you very much for your question. With the teamwork, since I work with people, since we were in a group, what we did was that we don't make decisions for ourselves. We make sure that we come together as a team, work, however I'm supposed to work or however I'm supposed to help other people, I try to do that. Fortunately, during those times, I was doing my off-campus, so I had enough time. So what I was doing is that I would take up some of the roles of my other colleagues, help them out with whatever they are doing, so that they will also have time for their books or help them out. And with the innovation skills, I quite remember there was a time when I was in class when a student called me. When she called, she actually had issues with paying her school fees. So I called my team members, tried to figure out ways and means to come up with ideas to help Quality for Funds to solve that issue for her. Not only that, we realized that we give monthly allowances to our beneficiaries. I realized that that money wasn't enough, so I thought it through, consulted some of the senior members in our chaplaincy. They were willing to offer their help by giving me provisions and some other items. So at the end of the month, they provide me with these things. I add it to the money, the allowance, and give it to these beneficiaries as well.
Okay. All right, thank you.
So
Do you think you'll be a very good vice president?
I believe I can.
You believe you can? Okay. Right. Let me come to Siddiq. Siddiq, when I mention your name, then you are smiling. Is it Sadiq? Yeah, Sadiq.
Yes,
then you are
Sadiq.
smiling. Why? You've been in the same floor.
Yes, Doc.
Okay. All right. Today, I'm sitting at a certain place. You're also sitting at a certain place. So,
Yes, sir.
so we'll take it that way. Still, your document has no title. I think because people are doing teamwork, you are copying yourself too, with no title, no page numbers for your CV. Right. I'll go straight to some of the things I've noticed with the CV and some of the things I need clarification.
Yes, sure.
Right, so that we move on. Right. You write that your personal profile, I'm a focused individual. Would you care to expand this statement? You're a focused individual.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. Yes, I said I'm a focused individual because I'm an individual who always have a plan, who always have a set target to achieve. Yes, so as a person, I've always have this ambition, this plan that I always work towards it. So at any point in time where I have my plan and I always make sure I achieve it. So with that focused individual you see, that is the meaning of that particular statement I made.
All right. So with your work experience, let me come to your work experience. Same way, because there are no page numbers. You did your national service at code.
Yes, please.
Why? Why code?
Okay. Thank you very much. Yes, being a native of Cape Coast, yes, and again, faced with financial constraints in terms of getting place for accommodation, it was best for me to have my service in Cape Coast. And I stay in Akosotru, where looking around, the nearest place to have my service is on campus. So I decided to settle with the College of Distance Education.
You decided to settle at code.
Yes, please.
You settled.
No, I decided to have my service on campus.
Okay.
Yes.
So you applied to have your service at code.
Yes, please.
You did apply.
Yes, please.
And then they responded positively.
Yes, please.
Okay. But you read economics, right? And
Yes.
You're doing MPhil in economics.
Yes, please.
And you went to code. What if I read what is here? You distribute transcripts to students, supervision of course tutors at various code center, distribution of modules to students. Now I could go on. How is it related to the economics that you did?
Thank you very much. Yes, with national service, yes, in as much as we are being posted to areas where it's our field of study. Sometimes, because we are rendering service to the nation, you are being posted to various news agencies to go and render your service to the nation. So it wouldn't specifically be like you are being posted to a place or a news agency where where it's your field, but then go and look at the problem there and render your service to that particular setting. Yes, in Central Region where I had my service, these are the things that we were doing. But then we had students coming day in, day out with their issues that we were rendering service to, of which I would say was the core mandate for the national service that we were supposed to do.
You are confusing me here. At first hand, you applied to do your service at code.
Yes, please.
And then at the second thing, you were posted there, which is which?
Yes, so if we are quite familiar with the system at code. Yes, usually you have to apply first, then you'll be posted by the service to the institution or to the college. Yes, so you go through the application process, then they post you to the college.
All right. So don't you think that if you were choosing to apply, you could have applied to a place where your expertise would be probably more enhanced compared to what you did at code? If you were choosing to apply, like you chose to apply to code, don't you think so?
Yes, I agree with you. I agree with you perfectly. Yes, but as I mentioned earlier on, because of financial constraints, and again, I wanted to find myself in Cape Coast so that I would have easy to and fro to the house.
All right. All things being equal, would you have still chosen code if there was no financial constraint?
Yes, I would have chosen code.
You still have chosen code.
Yes, please.
Because
Yes, so one, for the service I wanted to render, and two, yes, earlier on, you asked me why focus individual, and I said I always set goals for myself. Yes, I had the ambition to run for Aspirant president, and looking at campus, you'll see code has the numbers when it comes to service personnel. So having my service, they render my service to them, they would believe in what I will be able to do when given the node, and they would push me. So first was service, and again, serve them as their leader, and I did perfectly that when given the mandate.
to serve them as their leader.
Yes, please.
I've not even come to that part.
Yes,
But-
please.
So you were going to code to go and serve them as their leader. I mean, the national service. That was the mind.
No,
First of all, you should be there so that you can
no.
serve
The
them.
first one I earlier mentioned is to render my service to the nation, and second one, making reference to the focus individual, I said, is to contest for that particular portfolio.
All right. Let's make progress. Let's make progress. Because we don't have time. Skills. You have good human relations. That one I can attest to that if I'm not being biased.
Thank you very much,
It's been
Dete.
on my floor as a hot tutor. So, but this I cannot attest to, so I have to ask questions on.
Thank you very much.
Proficient in Microsoft Office application suite, Word, and PowerPoint.
Yes, Chair.
How proficient are you?
On a scale of 10, I'll give myself 7.
On the scale of- So then you are proficient.
Yes.
You are very good. Only Word and PowerPoint.
That's where I'm very
That's
proficient.
where you are very proficient. Good. All right. Leadership. You were a member for Welfare Committee, Vetting Committee member, Central Regional NASPA. So you've been in this seat before,
Yes, please.
right?
Yes, please.
What question do you think I should ask you that I've not asked you? Since you've been in this seat before,
The Chair, respectfully, I wouldn't know.
you wouldn't know.
Yes.
All right. It was a trick question. Then you were the president, National Service Personnel Association, Central Region.
Yes, please.
Is that the reason why you want to be president of Grasag?
No, that's not the reason, but then that is one of the reasons why I want to.
Because you were president of NASPA.
Not because of the president, but because I've been able to lead and again have the experience.
You have the experience.
Yes, please.
With Grasag.
No, with leadership.
Have you held any position in Grasag?
In Grasag, currently I'm a welfare committee member.
You're a welfare committee member.
Yes.
Okay, so welfare committee member, Grasag. Right. So, was one challenge that you faced when you were the president of, is it NASPA?
Yes, please.
NASPA.
Yes. Uh, Thank you very much, the Chair. NASPA is National Service Personnel Association, and one key challenge I remember I faced was the allowance not coming. Yes, and this, all my people who we served during the year 2021, 2022, that attest to the fact that it wasn't easy. There was this agitation here and there, allowance are not coming in regularly, and that. So I would say the major challenge that I faced during my tenure was the allowance not coming in regularly.
All right. Again, what lesson did you learn from that position that you think that it will help you steer the affairs of Grasag if you were given the opportunity?
Yes, one is inclusion, two is tolerance, and three is teamwork.
Right. I think I would have one or two questions, then I'll be off for now. Awards. I think when you mention awards, then one will expect that we'll have either a certificate or a plaque or something that shows that, because when you put awards on CVs, it gives you a competitive edge.
Yes.
And so then we would want to verify if the awards are really awards or they are manufactured awards.
Yes.
Right. So you said Youth in Politics, Ghana Youth Award, hosted by who? And then the award given by who? What is the merit of that award?
Yeah, so the merit of that particular award was your contribution as a youth in politics. And before I was awarded this particular honor, I have been rendering services to my people in my community, where I donated sets of jerseys to the football team in Tvucc, and again to donated mathematical sets and pens to 3 basic schools in the Cape Coast North Metropolis, where we have one in Tvucc, second in Dehia, and 3 in Dehia. We have Dehia 2 Islamic schools, so Dehia Islamic school and the Dehia school itself. Then one school was Tvucc. So with all these things, and coupled with the leadership experience that I have, I was being honored with this particular award during that particular.
By who?
By Ghana Youth Awards.
Ghana Youth Award.
Yes.
It's an established award.
Yes, please.
Okay. We'll have to verify that.
Yes, please. You can verify now.
All right. Then another one is most active member of Mathematics Student Association of Ghana. What did you do for them?
Okay, thank you very much. As I always say, a focused individual. When I read Bachelor of Bachelor of Science, Maths with Economics. So I belong to the Mathematics department, and again the Economics department, because both were our majors. So in the Math department, yes, the association was not really vibrant. Why? Because we have this perception with math students that we don't have time for extracurricular activities. So what I did was, I was very active on social media. So I was always pushing or posting activities of MASAG, always calling people to participate in MASAG activities. And at the end of the day, they realized that no, my contribution to the association has in a way raised the association's vibrancy to a different level. And I was honored with this particular award, the most active member of MASAG in that particular year.
Do you think that best dressed male should be awarded on your CV?
Yes. Looking at how the competition was during that time, and I would say yes, it should be on it, because it makes anyone who reads this particular CV know the kind of person you are. It means you are very decent, you are very presentable, and you can.
It wasn't decently dressed, best dressed.
Yes, yes, and
So,
sorry.
so what type of dresses were you wearing? That's earned you best dressed male. I want to know.
I.
You always in suits like this?
No, not a suit. I wear African print Usually I wear kaftan. I'm also in official sometimes, yeah.
So we that we wear Lacoste, we wouldn't be considered as best dressed. But they could have actually categorized that word as best African wear. I don't know, but best dressed seems a little bit. Anyway, right. I think that would be all from me for now on the CV. I'll hand over to the chairman.
Thank you very much, Doc. You proceed to the next session, but I want to draw your attention to the fact that it is an official session. So you limit your laughter and how you take questions from us. We are not co-equal on this level, so you should present yourself as someone who is before a vetting panel.
Thank you very much, Chair.
So your composure is very much important here.
Well noted, thank you.
All right. So you continue from. All right. So you continue from financial regulations of the university.
Tim Sadek, you are welcome once again.
Thank you very much.
My question goes to the team, and very simple and concise. I want to find out, the Director of Finance has several duties. It has general duties and specific duties. But I want you to tell me two specific duties of the Director of Finance.
Thank you very much. The Directorate of Finance. The first one I know is that before anyone will be the accounting or the various accounts offices on campus, that's where they send their records to. That's where they present their records to.
It has general, like I said earlier, general duties and specific duties. Because of your colleagues are in to come, so I will not tell the answer, but that's not the exact answer.
Thank you very much.
But that's not the answer. Also, if you want to, we have accounts, several accounts, and if you want to open a new bank account, you have a process that you follow to open a bank account. And at the same time, if you want to cancel or disclose your bank account, you have a process that you should follow. I want you to tell me any of them, either one or two, if you want to quit from a bank account, the processes that you go through.
Thank you very much. So I want to use an example too. So I work here at SGS. I want to change my account. I'll write an official letter, send it to the accounts office. They will send the letter to Directorate of Finance. Then they will change that and bring me feedback.
Okay, thank you. What is a valid book? So far as finance is concerned, you know, in finance, they deal or we deal in papers, and it's not every paper that's considered important or valid. So they have paper that is called valid book. So when you say valid book, what is a valid book, or what can be considered as a valid book?
Thank you very much for the question. Not every, just as you said, not every sheet is actually a valid book. I can cite an example as a checkbook is a valid book.
Thank you.
Hello. Sadiq and Priscilla,
Yes.
Yes,
how are you?
Yeah.
we are fine.
So we are moving into your policy document. First off, I want to ask you something. Sadiq, do you believe in diversity?
Yes, please, I do.
What is diversity?
Yeah, so diversity is accepting various ideas and what's coming, bringing them together to work with it.
Is it only ideas?
Not only ideas, but then people, plans, and all that.
Plants.
Yes, please.
Do you know why I asked you that?
No, please.
Because I feel like when we talk about diversity, we're also looking at all other things being equal. We're also considering people who speak different kinds of languages. Because I'm seeing a lot of Chi on this. So if I can't speak Chi, it doesn't mean I'm not able to, like the captions that you give to your policies.
Sorry, please, we've changed the policy document. Yes, so what we have here is the updated one that we sent to the EC chair. So we don't have that fee ones in it because after submitting the first one, we went back to correct all these fee languages.
All right, so do you want to say there is no point for us to query you, or you don't have the updated one? I personally approached you. You have two with you, yourself and your running mate. Maybe you want to share one with us,
Yes.
so that all right, so you come back to your policy document.
Okay,
You
sir.
want to move to your knowledge about the association. And
Sadiq and Priscilla, how are you?
We are very fine.
Okay. All right, so I have just some few questions, and some of the questions will be directed, will be individual specific. Yes, great. So, our vice presidential aspirant. The vice president also chairs the welfare committee. And as an aspirant, I want to believe that you've read the welfare policy.
Yes, please, I have.
Okay. So, what is the representation of Grasag at any of the conditions that have been given? Let's take a funeral. So, if there is any bereavement, which people in Grasag are supposed to represent the association?
Thank you very much. Whenever there is any form of bereavement, the council members, that's the executives, some will be permitted to go, and the vice president also selects members within the welfare committee to also represent the association.
Aside these two, any other?
Thank you very much. Also, in case any member from the person's class or program mates will also be.
Aside these three, any other? Okay, so
That's all I
according
know
to the
for.
policy, it's the welfare committee, there can be representatives, from the welfare committee, the executive council, the class of the member, and Senate. Okay, so thank you very much. Mr. President,
Yes, please.
so there is an appeal board for Grasag. Briefly, I would want you to tell us the people who form the appeal board of Grasag Ucc.
Okay, so we have the Judicial Board and the Senate.
No. Okay. So the appeal board consists of the dean or the vice dean, the secretary to the board of graduate studies, the dean of students or his rep, two other members, which include the chief justice and a member appointed by Senate. Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right. So, Mr. President, you are a senator. And I think for some years now, the discourse around Senate and the Executive Council focuses on the supremacy of Senate, as in these organs functioning independently, even though to ensure checks and balances. So as a senator and as an aspiring president of the association, I would want to know how you can help ensure the supremacy of Senate. What measures, what can you do as the president to ensure the supremacy of Senate?
Thank you very much. I, as a person, believe that as students and as an association, we are being governed by a constitution. So first, if there will be any supremacy, it should come from the constitution, because that is the only way that, or I would say that's the major way that one could always fight for the supremacy. So if the constitution clearly states that Senate should have the ultimate or be the supreme body, why not? So I would say first should be the constitution. If you have the constitution giving us that particular supremacy, why not? We will be able to see the difference. Thank you very much.
Okay, so I would want this to be on record that Tim Sadek promised that if he wins, Senate would work according to the Constitution of Grasag. Is that okay?
The Chair, respectfully, I said for Senate to be supreme, it should come from the Constitution.
Great, so it's enshrined in the Constitution. So if you win,
yes,
I
please.
want to see a Senate working with regards to the Constitution. So the Constitution obviously gives Senate certain powers. So the powers will be there.
Perfectly.
The powers will be there. Please say yes, the powers will be there for me. For my own purpose.
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Madam President, please, what is the composition of the vetting committee?
Thank you very much. The vetting committee consists of a member from the executive, a member from the EC,
from the executive
council, a member from the electoral commission, the speaker for Senate, and one member from
You're looking at us to put us somewhere.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
And the whole speaker, or one management, whole management. Please, that's all I know.
That's what
I've
you
forgotten
know.
the
Okay, interesting. Okay, so the enshrining the Constitution are different forms of membership of Grasag. We have associate membership, we have honorary membership, and all that. At what point does one cease to be a member of Grasag?
At what point does one
cease to be a member of the association?
Thank you very much. When the person completes school.
That's not true.
Mhm.
Mr. President.
Please, the question again.
Okay. At what point does one cease to be a member of Grasag?
Especially for clarity's sake, the cease, is it I don't understand the C's. So
CZs.
So you are a member of Grasag right now.
yes, please.
At what point will you not be a member of Grasag? What are the conditions that can necessitate the withdrawal of your membership?
Okay, thank you very much. This is not constitutional. If it's the constitution, I don't know.
It's in the constitution.
Yes, I know it's the constitution, but respectively, I have no idea.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, so you proceed to the next session. And all right, so may I have your attention? All right. So I saw you were interested in the question. You had wanted to say something to her. And unfortunately, when it was posed to you, you couldn't even answer. So I said you have your strength and you have your questions. So if you want to interrupt someone's question, you will bring it back to you. And what happened is going to happen.
Thank you very much.
So you wanted to tell us the composition of the vetting committee. I saw it from your face. It indicated clear that you know. So you want to give us the composition, after which you tell us the position for each and every person on this panel, since you know.
Thank you very much, Chair. I wouldn't say I know, but we have the electoral commissioner as a member. We have the vetting committee chair. We have one member from the executive council, the vetting committee secretary. Yes. And one member from Senate.
So you said the chair is coming from the House as a chair, straight, or where is the chair coming?
The vetting committee chair.
Where is the person coming from? You are looking at composition, so the chair is coming from which of the office?
The vetting committee.
Well, you are not getting my question right. So in the constitution, it's not the chair, it's two members from the General Assembly, for which one is appointed as the chair and the other as the vetting secretary. So when you say the chair, it means the person coming was already a chair somewhere and they brought the person. That is for a little clarification.
Thank you very much, Chair.
I just put it before you. I want you to know that you are not all-knowing. So once the question is for her, don't interrupt, because when you bring it to you, you may not be able to answer. I hope I'm clear.
Yes.
Allow her to be.
Okay. Sure.
All right. My first question, you are looking at your job specific, but I want to come from your experience to the president. You heard the position of NASPA CCMA president.
Yes, please.
And that of the region.
Yes, please.
And national.
Secretary.
So national too, you heard the position.
Yes, please.
With your influence in national and in regional and in CCMA, why did your administration not have a dinner?
Thank you very much for the question. Yes, if you followed our administration very well, and again, our tenure, we realized that funds for NASPA week, which we have the dinner inclusive, came in very late when service personnel were not at post. So generally, or I would say entirely in the country, we had less people celebrating NASPA week, even though we had a lunch in Ashanti region. So most of the service personnel didn't have the NASPA week at all. Not even talk of the dinner, which is inclusive in the NASPA week. Thank you.
All right. So what happened to the funds after it was released?
Yes, thank you very much. Yes, so with National Service and NASPA, we have a mini congress that we attend, that we decide on the amount that we should deduct from service personnel. So we had that particular mini congress in the Volta region where we decided 15 Ghana cedis should be deducted from every service personnel allowance. But because for that particular month, we didn't celebrate or were not at post, most of the sales personnel didn't submit their evaluation form, thereby causing them not being deducted for NASPA week. So those who were affected by deduction had their monies being brought to the district and region for administrative work, of which the money that came we used for a project in the district. So I would say the scheme didn't deduct everyone for NASPA week, but then those that were deducted, their monies came in for administrative work, where we used those monies for projects of which we made accounts to the director. Thank you very much.
All right, so it is only the director that is aware, but your members at that time are not aware of the information you are giving us now.
Thank you very much. Just as you said, yes, we made communiques available that there wouldn't be a NASPA week, because even though we started sharing flyers of NASPA week, because of the time frame and because they were not post, we didn't have the NASPA week. And because the reason why we didn't have much agitations was that, just as I said, there weren't deductions from these people. Those that were deducted, we made reference to them, and those monies were being used for that project I'm telling you now.
All right, you did not get my question. I am saying you are not accountable. That is the information I want to give. Because you did not make your members aware of the instances that happened. Because it was after your administration where those projects were made, and the director is aware. But your members currently are not even aware.
Thank you very much. Yes, I wouldn't say I'm not accountable. No, it's never true. I'm accountable. The reason why I'm saying this is after our elections, if you were there, we made the copy of the accounts with the project that we did after the handing over, where those available then had that particular information. Yes, so if for accountability's sake, yes, we did that particular account. But then, because we didn't have a general meeting, because they were not supposed, that's why most of our members, or I would say some members, didn't get to hear about these accounts.
All right, that is enough. But I just want to say, you had a way of communicating to them. It wasn't always through General Assembly. So if you want to say, because you did not have a General Assembly, you couldn't communicate to them, then I will say you are not accountable. You have your own views. You have told me you are accountable. But what you are telling me, I am basing on what you are saying to tell you that. You don't take offense with that. I want to move still on your past experience.
Yes, please.
On NASPA. You had an aspirant who came here and boldly said, as your capacity as the president, you appointed another person who was not voted on to be a deputy to the organizer because you saw your organizer to be incompetent. I want to ask you, what is going to be your line of action when you see any of your executive being incompetent?
Thank you very much. To clear this particular allegation, let me first of all clear this before I come to the second question. Yes, I never appointed anyone solely because of the president. No. I appointed the said person in consultation with the executive committee and the director, who is our patron. We did this appointment with the incumbent organizer in consultation. The reason why I am saying this is, when we had our elections, there were two aspirants who contested for organizing secretary, and one lost, the other person won. Now, the one who lost, we realized that his commitment to the situation was very massive. And NASPA, as we all know, sometimes participation is very difficult. So when you have someone who is very willing to support the activities of NASPA, you have to bring the person on board. And with agreement with the incumbent organizer, we had to appoint him as the deputy organizing secretary for the association. So I would want to clear this out, that I never appointed anyone because I was the president. No, but I did that in consultation with my other executive committee members, because I believe in teamwork and collaboration. And again, with the director, who was our patron then. Thank you very much. And
You have another? Okay.
Yeah, so never on any day would I appoint any other executive because I feel it's incompetent. No, I'm not the best person to judge someone that someone is not being incompetent. What I would say is you're not working well because per the constitution we have our duties. So if you fail to do a duty, that is when I can correct you as a president. Oh, organizer, you're supposed to pick up this particular chair, but you didn't pick it, so kindly pick it. But for me to say you are not competent, no, never will I do that. Thank you very much.
All right. Okay. The conversation is more of this because that is your line of duty.
Yes.
Once you have been the president elsewhere, your challenges will be brought to us so that based on that you know your competency and your level for the next administration because
Yes.
we are vying for the same portfolio. So I want to say certificate was awarded to such an individual for the deputy. And you came for vetting for the NASPA president. And you know that we didn't have in a constitution of NASPA a deputy to the organizer. You didn't revise any policy or document of NASPA, but just in the vague, there came someone now holding certificate for an office which is not recognized, even in NASPA. So what are you going to say about this? Are you saying you still liaise with the director and your executive to take a decision against the principles of the association for which you came to meet?
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, just as you mentioned earlier, I served as the national secretary. Yes, I remember when we had our handover, where per the constitution, just as you said, we have laid down portfolios which are being elected and appointed. Yes, with the national PRO, which is being appointed by the president, in consultation with the other executives, we agreed that let's appoint another PRO for him to help the incumbent PRO. Why? Because we believe that the work of the PRO, we're not saying cannot be done by one person, but then if we have this person supporting him, we'll be able to function very well. Same applies to our district. You realize that when it comes to Cape Coast, because the terrain here is very different, where we have service personnel here, majority of them on campus here, some at Abra, RCC. The organization was very difficult. So we sat down as an executive body to agree on that particular honorary. And as much as we are working with the constitution, I always say the scheme's constitution overrides the powers of the association. So when you consult the director, the director also takes directive from the regional director. We agreed that let's honor such a person with this particular portfolio, even though it wasn't in the constitution.
All right, enough of this, but the certificate is not recognized. I want to put it before you. Something which is not constitutionalized, you cannot award certificate and think the certificate holds, because the person brought it and it is on the person's CV, and this is office which in the whole nation is recognized that you do not have a deputy. So you've committed yourself in the first place. There is no justification for that. I just want to tell you fact before you move on. So you happen to have an aspirant whom you have worked with at NASPA.
Yes, please.
If the mandate is given to you to be the president, and this individual is part of your executive, what will be your action? And what is your thought? Knowing his abilities, where you were supposed to bring on board someone to assist the person in his duties, what will be your recommendation?
Thank you very much. Yes, the appointment of the deputy organizing secretary was not based on the incompetency of the incumbent organizer, no, but then to support his activities. Just as we have the vice president, when the vice president is not around, when the president is not around, the vice president sets in. It doesn't mean the president is not competent, but then supports the president. So same, I'm here as an aspirant who, if given the nod, I always say in my vision that we want to bring an inclusive community. It's about teamwork, it's about collaboration. If things didn't go right, or in leadership, things sometimes don't go right, but then you sit down, you come to a conclusion, then you move forward. So if by God's will and people of Grasag vote for us as Grasag president and vice president, they are going to work hand in hand to make sure the organization of Grasag and the development of Grasag is being moved ahead. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I told the first candidate that it is easier said than done. You know your past record and your track record. You find an issue with the person, and you brought on board an assistant. That was my question. If you happen to have the same aspirant or the same person in your team, what is going to be your thought on the person's ability to execute his work without giving another deputy?
Respectfully, the chair, I never had issues with my executives. No, we never had issues. And if we had issues...
All right, that is okay. That is okay.
Thank you very much.
I don't want to pull you more. I was just dwelling more on your past so that you see the way forward.
Thank you.
So, as the president, incoming president or aspirant, how will you increase enrollment and retention in the school? I don't know if you are aware of this fact that you have a number of our colleagues who have left to pursue other programs outside UCC, meanwhile they were enrolled on the program. So what is your way to increase the enrollment and retention of our students?
Okay. To me.
Any of you can answer.
Chair, thank you very much for the question. Yes, a way to improve enrollment is by having a marketing plan. That is one, where the marketing plan is the use of the media, the use of all other aspects that we can use to have people know that, yes, we have Grasag UCC, so we have graduate school in UCC where it is very suitable to have your graduate studies. That is for marketing plan for the enrollment. Then when it comes to the retention, I believe people withdraw because of the inconducive environment they have for their studies. So if you are to make graduate studies the environment very conducive and again friendly, they will stay, then we'll be able to retain these students.
All right, so I like your innovative way you want to go about it, but you did not spell it out exactly what you want to do. If you make it a place of convenience, how are you going to make it a place of convenience for them to stay? That is what I'm talking about. Oh, okay. Maybe you are not aware. Some of our students who want to leave because of our lecture venues, some who want to leave because of the scope of our program and the length of the program. It is 2 years, but it is likely that you are unable to complete within 2 years. Per my little knowledge, if you school in any of the European countries, you are compelled to complete in 2 years. 2 years, 2 years, you are done. So how innovative are you going to help us to have enrollment, increment in enrollment, and retention?
Okay. Thank you very much, the Chair. Yes. With the enrollment and the marketing plan that I mentioned earlier on, yes. And again, by the use of the media, I believe the media has become one of the powerful tools that we can use to market graduate school out there. And now when it comes to retention, as I mentioned earlier on, we should make the environment serene and conducive for students. One, let me cite this instance, or let me cite this thing that we went through as MPhil economics students. When we came in, we had one colleague of ours who completed 10 years ago, and she's now back to have her graduate studies in economics. And I remember very well, she told me that, I engaged her very well, and she told me that, Sadiq, I have forgotten all these econometrics. And these lecturers came in saying, have you done econometrics before? No. Have you done this one before? No. If you don't know, it means you cannot complete the university. This scared her. This made her to stop schooling. when she had paid her fees and had paid for accommodation at SNIT. So I first is our interaction and how friendly we are to our students. That is one. That's on the part of lecturers. Then two, just as you mentioned, now it has become, I don't want to say a norm, but then we whisper every day that we are not going to complete within the 24 months being given to us as MPhil students and for PhD students for that particular period. Why? Because there is always delay in the thesis work. So what we intend to do is that why not assign supervisors to us early? Just when, so that when we are doing our research work, our academic writing, we will have these supervisors guiding us through our research work. Because I remember very well when applying for graduate school, we apply with proposals. Even the proposals I would say are not all that up to standard. When you have an interest, it's an interest that you develop for you to bring the proposal. So when you come in and you have been assigned supervisors early, you will be able to shape that particular interest that you have so that you can start your research work just right from the first semester that you have started with your research methods and academic writing. I believe with some of these things, we'll be able to retain our students and again see graduate school as a very nice place to have their studies. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. My last question, and it goes to your running mate. Will you want to help her?
No, please.
I'll give you the opportunity.
Okay.
Will you want to help her?
If it's beyond her, why not? I would help her if I know.
So if you don't know, you won't want to help.
If I don't know, respectively, we would seek counsel from you.
So it's a sign. If you don't know, you won't want to help her.
Or if I don't know, I said I will seek counsel from you.
All right, that is fine.
Yes.
My question is very simple. Being the vice president, you have your own duties. At what point of time will the duty of the president be shifted to the vice president? And which among the duties of the vice president, the president, can't be done by the vice president, even though the duties have been shifted to her?
All right, thank you very much.
No, you're not taking counsel.
No, I'm
This is
not
to
taking
you.
it.
Yeah.
But the first one, I've forgotten what she said.
All right, my first question is saying, being the vice president, there will be time that
I get it now.
you've gotten it.
I get it. Okay, thank you very much. The vice president only acts when the president is not available or is not around. And the only instance where the vice president can't act is when she is supposed to sign on behalf of the president, since the president is also a signatory to our account.
It is you.
Our account,
Which account?
Grasag account.
What is the name of the account? All right, so that is all for now. You move on to. Your policy document.
So I'm now back to the policy document. Academics. It's a nice thing, but then the release of results. I think the release of results has been one of the standing pillar problem of graduate school. And then the lobbying is something that has been done before. We are still doing it, but then the problem is still persisting. Wherever we meet, we talk about this problem. So we call it a pillar problem. It's just like IRB and its other problems. So what new thing would you do aside lobbying? Because I think the previous administration lobbied, we are still lobbying. And then I think there's something that can be done apart from lobbying. So what do you think that would be a novice initiative that you can bring that will change something?
Thank you very much. Yes, I must admit you are true. Yes, the release of results, even though I've not been on campus for a very long time, but then we've all seen is, if I'm to borrow your word, let's say a standing pillar. Yes, what we intend to do is we want to go beyond the lobbying. Yes, we don't want to now see Grasag as an homogeneous group. When we continue to see Grasag as an homogeneous group, where we want to always fight for everything at one particular point in time, we wouldn't be able to do it. What we intend to do is we want to do it heterogeneous, where we tackle it department by department, program by program. Now we have some programs, which I will say oil and gas. They have their results in full. So it means that we cannot have a case saying they should release the results early. But then when it comes to School of Economics, where I have my 3 results now in, it means that there is a need for us to push forward. Now, when we are able to identify these departments that release their results late, that is where we can start the conversation. And lucky for us, we have a portal where we'll be able to see the status of where the results have gotten to. Now, if we have a program, Home Economics, their results, we don't have any of them in their portal. When we check, it's inactive, which means that the lecturer has not even marked the script. Now, it is incumbent on the department, which is the program rep, now to reach out to the lecturer. Our result is delaying. What is happening? When it is failing, you have the department, reach out to the department. When it is failing, come to Grasag. What Grasag intends to do is that we want to use a different means by enforcing it. In the enforcement, if it is for us to go to the extreme mile of writing a petition to get it done, we will do it. So that is the new thing that we want to bring when it comes to the early release of the results for students.
Okay, so whom do you intend to partner with in implementing this initiative?
Yes, thank you very much. We intend to now collaborate with the various program reps, that is one, and the heads of departments in the various colleges.
Okay, I hope this helps because it's a very serious problem.
Yes.
And then I hope that whatever we are bringing will help.
Thank you very much.
And then with the lecture theaters, you said you want to overhaul them, like renovate. Don't you think that we need more rather than renovation? Because I know that people have lectures in offices. Personally, I was even having lectures in the offices of some of my lecturers. And then even though there are some lecture theaters that people are using, but because they are not adequate, we tend to use lecture room offices of our lecturers. So I don't see the renovation, although some are old that needs renovation, but I think that getting new ones on board, like bringing new ones and then getting new ones, partitioning of our seminar rooms and those things for new ones would increase it rather than renovation. That is what I think. So what do you also say?
Thank you very much, the Chair. Yes, just as you said, in as much as we need or we want a place for all graduate students, as in a building, we have some lecture theaters currently which are in bad shape, which we have to renovate. If you have gone to outside, the building behind the Tvucc building, now this building I would say is very old, and sometimes ventilation is very, very bad. In the sense that when there is light out, even when there's no light out, because we have education students coming for a combined class, the heat there is unbearable. We have pregnant women, we have mothers lactating, having lectures there. Now come and see the heat. So there is a need for us to renovate this place by having fans, by having air conditions for us, and again, by extending the EdRoom Wi-Fi to the various lecture theaters, where if you want to have something search online, you can just search for the particular information. And again, when it comes to building, I always say currently, being a senator, I know the current finance of the association, so we cannot build currently. But what we can do is continue the lobbying. I always commend the current administration for lobbying to get these 2 seminar rooms down here be converted to lecture theater for some graduate students. What we intend to do is to continue that particular advocacy and lobbying so that even this particular building, this room that we are here, can convert it to a lecture theater. I believe with this, we'll be able to reduce the congestion, and again, the Helter Skelter will go in search of lecture theaters until the school management comes up with a plan to build for us. Thank you very much.
Okay, then I think that now your problem here is not to get enough lecture theaters, but your problem is the conditions in the rooms of the lecture theaters. Though I think that you capture it rather under welfare than under academics. That is what I think.
Okay, thank you very much for your suggestion. But then it's one, renovation, and two, having the space for our other program mates who struggle day in, day out to have place for their lectures.
Okay, I wouldn't want to go further because of time, but then here it's talking more about renovation than getting enough spaces for us. So maybe you should look at that.
Correct.
And then what is wrong with this student clinic?
Thank you very much. There's actually nothing wrong with the students' clinic, but what we intend doing is that they open it at 8 a.m. and close at 3 p.m. What we intend doing is to make it, they prolong their working hours so that students wouldn't have to be going to the hospital all the time.
So is that what you have captured as revamp? Because I'm seeing revamping of the student clinic under health.
Yeah, sorry, yes. The chair.
Then it means there's a problem. They need something like it's not working, so maybe they would want to.
No, the chair, please. Just as you said revamp, she was even quickly to check to cancel it. So there was a typo there.
So it's not revamp.
Yes, please.
This is not a typo. I'm tempted to say that it's not a typo.
Let me come in. We were about discussing your policy. You told us that you have revised it, and you've presented a new one, and the new one is still having typo. Are you going to tell us that we are not that accurate person who do not do a cross-check, presenting a document in the first place and realizing that there are mistakes, and now resubmitting the new one, you still see mistakes with it? Are you telling us that we are going to use the association for try and error? You go the next time, they bounce you, then you come back, then you go again. Do you know the process for procurement? And when you have a mistake with your document, do you know what it goes through? You delay the association for the souvenirs that they are supposed to get. So you are supposed to be, I want to borrow your word, but I will allow them to go. All right. It's not just funny.
No.
You are supposed to be extra careful with what we say, because it's a new document.
So maybe you can check that. So if it's not revamping, let us capture what you want to actually say.
Thank you very much.
Okay. And the welfare, I think my teacher taught me we cater for, not cater to. I'm saying cater to. I don't know if it's a new word, the phrase, or I don't know. But I'm saying cater to. Is it cater for that you want to capture?
Yes, please.
So it's a typo or an oversight?
No, for this one, respectfully, I admit I've learned something new today.
So you didn't know?
Yes, please.
That's fine. So you said cater, I'm now using for absence of an initiative that caters for the pertinent needs of graduate students. So what are some of the pertinent needs?
Yeah, so the first one is accommodation.
So you said among other things, we found a struggle in finding accommodation to be most topical closely followed by the absence of an initiative that caters for the pertinent needs. So here, what are those pertinent needs? Because we've already mentioned accommodation, and we are saying it is followed by some pertinent needs, an initiative to cater for the pertinent needs. And I want to know what pertinent needs are you talking about?
The chair, kindly, please see this. Pertinent needs of graduate students with special needs.
Yes, I want to know what are some of those pertinent needs. That is what I want to know.
Okay, so here we're talking about persons with special needs. Yeah, so.
Thank you very much. Please, I want to set an example. When you go to alcohol, the sea floor is given to people with special needs and visually impaired students. So these people come with their helpers so that they help them out, going to classes and all that. So that's what we intend.
Okay, that's fine. So how do you intend to implement the accommodation portal? Because I'm interested in that.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, when I was the president for NASPA Central Region, accommodation was a big challenge to service personnel. Even myself, I made example to it. Yes, and how much more someone being posted from the northern region, the Bronga-Hafu region to Cape Coast. These people find difficulty in getting accommodation. So what we did when we were executives of the Central Region was to go around the various, because we have executives at the various districts, we tagged them, please go around the various, the towns that you have, look for landlords, look for hostel managers who have accommodation facilities available. Now we compiled all these facilities and created an app called NASPA Central Region app. On that app, we had accommodation session where we placed all these facilities there. So now everyone who was posted to Central Region would just download the particular app. We told them during orientation, then when we go to the app, just go to accommodation. You see the 22 districts that we have in Central Region. Wherever you're doing your service at, just click on that particular district. You would see the available facilities that we've been able to engage, which is very affordable. Then just call the landlady, landlord. Some even had pictures with it. Call them, then you get your accommodation being sorted. This was one of the ways that we did to reduce the burden on such personnel in search for accommodation. We intend to bring the same thing to Grasag Ucc. Grasag Ucc has a website, but then currently when we go to the website, the accommodation site where it usually is to help students with accommodation, it's not functioning properly. So what we intend to do is that, just as I did when I was the president for NASPA Central Region, I want to bring the same thing to Grasag. We should have that particular session where we engage the various hostels around, which is very security conscious. Then we put them in this particular app to help Barcode Trust, SNIT and again alumni hostel, because some of our people don't want to share amenities with their colleagues because they are married men, some are married. Some too personally don't want to share amenities. So having these hostels for them would also help to reduce the burden that we have for accommodation for students. Thank you.
Thank you. I just hope that it works, because it would be one interesting initiative if we're able to do it. Okay. Your Vice. Madam Vice, Her Excellency, to be. I'm not understanding something. You know, I'm very interested in policy document because that is what you are coming to work with. This is the whole Grasag, this is the whole administration that I'm holding. So I'm so much interested in this. I'm not understanding the part where you are combining the organizing of hangouts and then building connections with industry people. How is it connected? Are you seeing it? Your Vice.
Thank you very much. For our engagement, or let's say the recent aerobics that we had, if people were happy and they were actually okay with it, and they wish that we have such experiences again. And day in, day out, some of my colleagues, actually the grown-ups, they complain that they are stressed out and they wish they could have some kind of outings and all that. So what we thought of is that after like a week or academic stress, we can once a while organize such socialization for people to also.
Yes, you've not answered my question. The connection it has with building connection with industry people, because it is part. Yeah, building connections with industry people.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. We realize that most of these postgraduate students are workers. So if we get the opportunity to interact with them, we will be able to build that kind of.
I don't want to I don't want to go there, but then you should look at it, because I'm not really seeing the connection.
He wants to add that.
Yes, thank you very much. Yes. Connection, I always believe, is not in one setting. Yeah, so having this particular hangout, I remember when we had this particular, the first aerobics that we had, that was where I met a colleague who is a military person. This particular individual has helped a colleague in a way. So if Grasag is to have such particular corporate hangouts where we know the intended purpose of this particular hangout, we meet all these people, these industry men and women, teachers who are graduate students. We interact with them, and who knows where you would meet your helper. You can meet your helper during a particular hangout. That's what we intend to do.
Military man is the industry people. Is it the industry people? Maybe you should really look at that whole thing. I don't want to waste time there, but you should look at that whole thing.
Okay.
And then my last question before I hand over, I want you to explain the Grasag Dache Fund for me. I don't understand. How are you going to implement? Is it that we are going to pay money, or the association will fund us? I don't understand the Grasag Dache Fund. So you do justice to that. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Just as I mentioned earlier on, we all know the current state of our association, where now procurement and again doing feasible projects will be very difficult because we are cash strapped. So what we intend to do is I want to institute this particular fund that we will be able to always resort to as a contingency fund for our activities. Now, how we intend to fund this particular fund is one, from our allocation of dues. We want to allocate some funds from our dues to that particular fund. 2, by fundraising, and 3, through scholarships. Then lastly, from donors who are willing to support the association. So that is all about the Grasag Dache Fund.
Right. Mr. Sadiq.
Yes, please.
Well, on the lighter side, you could have used cater to or cater for, depending on whether you're an American or a British. But since you're also confused,
yes,
then you couldn't get it right. But cater is okay, but it should be, yeah, so like you should be specific with people you are quoting. But then the most important thing I wanted to, what do you see in your portal with respect to results? What are the various categories that you see?
So we have inactive. Let's start with inactive, then with lecturer, then it comes with faculty.
Okay, so you see with lecturer there.
Yes, please.
But then you go ahead to say that if it is inactive, it means the lecturer might not have even marked it. I put that question down.
Okay.
Why are you accusing us wrongly? When you see with lecturer there, but you are still saying that if it's inactive, it means the lecturer might not have even marked it.
Respectfully, I take answer from.
Because you see with lecturer directly there, it means that it is with the lecturer. Is that not the case?
Respectfully, I was making reference to the inactive, where it's as inactive.
Then you are saying, but how do you know that the lecturer has not marked it?
Okay, so.
Does inactive shows that the lecturer has not marked something?
So we take answer from you, Doctor.
Yeah, because I think that with lecturer there is purposely for with lecturer, right?
Yes,
Inactive could
yes.
even mean that the exams officer has not pushed the course into the lecturer's portal. So how would the lecturer activate it? When the lecturer activates it, it comes to with lecturer. Do you get it? Right, thank you.
Thank you very much for the counsel, the chair.
Thank you, Doc, for the clarification. So, Mr. Ajay will want to give us a follow-up question before Madam Annie comes in.
Yeah, with regards to the policy documents, I wanted to find out, is there a way that your policy would generate or raise revenue for Grasag?
Thank you very much, the chair. Yes, as part of our initiative to see Grasag as to have something for IGF, which is Internal Generated Fund for Association, we intend to have the Grasag printing press, which has been in the known for a very long time. Yes, with for some consultation with the current executives, I've been told that it started with the procurement processes. Yes, so what we intend to do is that if it's not being initiated during that tenure, what we intend to do is to make sure we establish it for us to have that particular printing press running, generate funds for the association. And again, as welfare members, we have souvenirs in abundance. And these souvenirs, I would say, they are money. They are money being kept in the room. We tried selling some of them just yesterday when we had the sharing of the souvenirs. What we intend to do is that we want to intensify it, where we take it to class by class. My class like this, they purchased some of them. Why? Because they saw me wearing it. I had to buy it for them to see that. Yeah, so if we patronize such items, we'll be able to generate funds for associations. So thank you.
Okay. Hi, Sadiq.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm good and you?
I'm also fine. So I will be asking just a few questions on sexual harassment and the student handbook. Are you good to go?
Yes, please.
Okay, my first question. You see, over the years, the School of Graduate Studies has evolved. At first, it was called a Committee of Higher Degrees. And from there, it changed to a Board of Graduate Studies. At what year did it change from higher degrees to a Board of Graduate Studies?
First August 2008.
No, please. Try again.
If I'm trying, first October 1971.
No, please.
Okay, I don't-
But it's close. It's really close, but it's not. Okay. My next question. How do you understand stalking? Do you think stalking is an offense? First question. How do you understand stalking? Second question. Do you think stalking is an offense?
Yes, first, it's an offense. And second, how it's an offense is you looking at someone or monitoring the person for the person to become very uncomfortable.
Not quite. Okay. So my follow-up question. What behaviors would you consider as stalking?
Okay, thank you very much. When, say, imagine you just be walking and you realize that someone is actually looking at you, you can feel that someone is following you, looking at you, somebody turn, you realize the person at school, but the person is kind of stalking you.
That's the only behavior. Do you think
No.
blackmailing is stalking?
Yes, please.
You think
Yes.
so? You think blackmailing is stalking? Oh, okay. My next question. What do you understand by miscellaneous of offense? What is a miscellaneous offense?
Please, I have no idea.
You have no idea. Okay, let me ask you this question. Okay, can you tell me or mention some 6 programs run by School of Graduate Studies? And when I say programs, if it's MPhil, it's MPhil. If it's MCOM, it's MCOM. I don't want MCOM management, procurement, no. Do you get it?
The question again.
Name 6 programs run by the School of Graduate Studies.
Okay, so we have MCOM, we have MN, we have MSc, we have MA, we have PGC, then PGD.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're
My
welcome.
follow-up question. Can you give me 3 channels through which your impact can be felt in the university? You are coming on board as a president. So tell me 3 channels you wish, through which your impact can be felt in the university.
Leshe, kindly come and give me the question, please.
You are coming as a Grasag president, and definitely you are going to make an impact, right?
Yes, please.
So mention 3 channels, or even give me a channel through which you think your impact can be felt through the university.
Advocacy,
Okay.
collaboration,
Okay.
and lobbying.
Okay. And please, it's cool. What offer does your presidency have for undergraduate students?
Offer.
What offer?
Leshe, the offer. The
There's
offer.
no offer.
There is an offer, but
I don't know. If
Just go back and think about an offer for undergraduates. Just simple.
oh, okay, we'll do that.
So
Thank you very
for now, there's no offer, but you try and incorporate them. Right. Okay,
Yes.
so let's move on. Madam President, are you ready?
yes.
Okay, so I'm being sexually harassed by anybody in the university. What are my stakes?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So, when you are being harassed, so when you are being harassed, you confront the hall seater or your head of department or anyone of higher, you confront the person. Hey, you inform the person. You inform the person about it.
Are you sure? What is the responsibility of SEGRAD?
So, SEGRAD sees to they actually handle sexual harassment issues.
Are you sure?
Yes, please.
Not quite. go and read more and come back. Okay, my final question. When assuming I'm a student, let's not assume. After I've lodged complaints of sexual harassment, how many days do you think it takes the board to review my complaints?
Thank you very much. After 14 days, working days.
Not quite, 21 days.
Thank you.
Check.
Right, since Sadiq,
Yes, Chair.
I think this will be the last question. Then something to know if you are aware of the happenings around us.
Okay.
Yeah. So in recent times, there was a by-election in somewhere in Ghana. Where did it occur, and who emerged as the winner?
Okay, so we've had two by-elections. The recent one is at Asin North, where Charles Opoku, on the ticket of James Quason, on the ticket of NDC, emerged as the winner.
That is interesting. You are about committing yourself. I don't know what you are about saying, but maybe you give it the opportunity to end what you wanted to say first.
Okay, so I wanted to say we had two leading candidates. That's on the ticket of MPP, who is Charles Opoku, and NDC, James Quason, and James Quason emerged as the winner.
We are trying to communicate something. I know. I know other people also know. But that is just by the way.
Okay,
It has been a fruitful engagement. Although I delve deeper into your past,
yes,
because it came to our notice what has happened, and for us to get clarification, I'm supposed to query you on it, than to allow you to go, and those that witnessed the first session will have their own doubts and their own experience with you. It was good you came out to tell us the basis and some instances that has happened in your past, so that others watching us live will also know and will form their own judgment about you, but not basing on us. So it has been a fruitful engagement. And you want to release you guys. Maybe you have any question or any words for us. We are open for that. Unfortunately, you couldn't serve you all with water. In our next session, you will serve you all with water.
So please, I would like to say thank you very much for this opportunity. Indeed, it has been a very fruitful conversation, and we are very glad for that. But before I end, I would like him to also say something.
Okay, so thank you very much, the chair and the panel, for the opportunity given. We believe this is a learning process, and we've learned a lot from you. And going forward, we believe that the people of Grasag will give us a mandate to serve them in the next academic year. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You will take your leave, but I like your light submission where you say we. I had more of I throughout our engagement, but you ended with we, which is fine. So see you. All right, so that is Team Sadiq leaving us. In the next 2 or 3 minutes, you have in the house the next aspirant, who is in the person of Team Michael. So you have Techi Michael and Laura Baba Dazi. So in a moment, they will join us. All right, so we are expecting you all to submit your comments through the platform so that at least it will be read out. We are interested in what you guys have for us. Maybe you have a line of questioning that you want us to put before some people. I learned our media man is around. He will sneak and bring some of these questions so that you look at it. If it is important that we ask our aspirants, why not? You want to add it to our line. Just that it will not be a scoring point, but you want to know more about them. All right.
Right. Thank you, the chair. And I'm not sure the chair, if we are to open the platform for people to be questioned, we will leave here. But we're waiting for the last team to join us here for the vetting exercise. Remember that we are transmitting live from the seminar 3 room or seminar room number 3. Why do I keep confusing myself with this? Seminar room number 3. Okay, that is a venue. So when you get to the School of Graduate Studies, you ask for seminar room number 3. They will direct you to join us here. But to those of us who have been writing to us, thank you very much. I'm taking some few minutes to read your messages. Ebenezer Yabua, the seat is hot, but Prisla is very relaxed in answering the questions. Kumi, Tim Sadiq, that is what you said. Ebenezer Yabua, the guy is so fluent and brilliant. I'm sure, whom are you referring to? Anyway, you didn't attach any name to that. Allow Sadiq came in from Ebenezer. Allow Sadiq. And I saw the best dressed coming, Al-Hassan, Ahassan Safianu. Okay, it's Ahassan Safianu, I'm sorry. And Joshua, we are here to pay it forward. And Tim Sadiq, Seidu, paying it forward. Okay, really? And Mensa Precious, Abina Tvucc. Nice contribution, Mr. Robert. This is from Samuel. It's too obvious. Team Japan is the best for the association. Japan is my guy. Dinner money, cash money squandered. Oh, really, Samuel? Nicholas, Samuel, I think you want to respond about the dinner money. What happened? What happened? I'm curious to know. Someone comes in again with, did he say the organizer is incompetent? Wow. This gentleman isn't a team player with what he is telling the panel members. Really? Is that what you think? I'm fully convinced to endorse Team Japan. I have taken my stance on the endorsement on the Grasag presidency. Thank you. Samuel, we have also taken our stance, but thank you very much for writing to us. You can also do the same. Leave your comment there, and we would highly appreciate it. On that note, would hand over to the chairman to continue the exercise. We're waiting for the last team to join us. SK. Asewenya bro. Okay, that is it. So, let's hear. Over to you.
Thank you very much, PDF. Thank you for your time and the exposure given us to use this platform to vet our able men and women for the next administration. You're welcome. So you have in our midst the next team in the person of Makia Techi and Baba Laura Dazi. Please, you want to on your microphone and it's just you press the button. All right. So in a minute, you introduce yourself from the president and the running mate.
Okay, I am Michael Techi, vying for the position of the Grasag president. I am able, competent, reliable, and have the track record to lead this noble organization. Thank you.
You're welcome. The vice. Kindly on your microphone.
I'm Laura Babadazi, MPhil Basic Education, and I'm a running mate to Michael Techi. Thank you.
Madam Laura, are you tense?
No.
Are you comfortable? No. All right. I was sensing you were tense, but you've made a clarification. That is fine. So you want to begin our engagement. We call it a dialogue engagement. You want to present to the graduate school the best people, or say aspirants, so that they can face or fit any of the portfolios they are vying for. So this is an interaction. So you give us the best response. You won't want to keep long with this session. because we are getting tired. So as you too, because you came in the morning. So let us be brief on some of the things. So you are looking at 10 areas that you want to assess you all. And like I've been saying, if a question goes to the president, you want the president to answer, unless there is the need for us to call on the vice to help. Other than that, if it is to the president answers. If it is to the vice or the running mate, she does so. And questions will come to the team. Anyone will want to pick it up and help us to do that. So you are looking at your CV, your appearance, just as you have come. You have taken our decision already. Then you look at your expression. Then you look at your knowledge on our financial regulation as an institution. Then innovation that you want to bring on board. Anything innovative that you want to bring on board. Your knowledge on the association. Then you look at your job specific. You look at your knowledge on the student handbook and sexual harassment document. Then anything current. So these are the 10 areas that we are looking at. We wish you all the best in our interaction. You will begin with your CV, and with that, Dr. Frifa will help us to do that.
Thank you.
Michael, and is it Baba? Yeah, I don't think I have it. All right, so let me welcome you again, once again, for availing yourself for this exercise. I think that to take that step is a brave step because you have the responsibility of the association on your shoulders. So I would like us to, in a few minutes, go through your CV, and then we move on from there. Right. I want to look at your objectives on the CV, page 1 of the CV. Right. You said that your objective is to utilize skills and experience and competencies in monitoring and evaluation, and to use Gestalt and system thinking. Right. I wanted to find out what is the meaning of Gestalt.
Thank you very much. Gestalt is a type of leadership that looks at the holistic person. So when you're a leader, you don't just look at one aspect. You look at the whole personality of your subordinates, of your members that you are working with. So Gestalt and system thinking looks at how the organizational goals, objectives, and how each of the members understand the goals for you to work together in harmony to achieve the organizational goal. And when you look at the second objective where you are talking about organizational development approaches, that one is also part of the Gestalt leadership. You bring everything on board to make sure that all the complexities of human characteristics is on board. So when you are in an organization and you are a leader, you make sure that you are empathetic enough to lead your people. You don't always think about results, but what will lead to the results is what this leadership style looks at.
All right.
I've gone through a whole year training on that, so I'm confident with that system very well.
What makes you think an association like Grasag need a leader who has gone through a whole year training in Gestalt?
Thank you very much. Yeah. Grasag members are from diverse environments, diverse courses, diverse mindsets, and you need a Gestalt leader to bring all these capacities together for all of us to think as one member, trying to achieve the best interest of Grasag.
Okay. But where did you have this training?
At Incuban Associate, I think it was sponsored by Star Ghana. It was 2019. I think I didn't capture it here, but I have the certificate and everything. Yeah. I updated this one and uploaded. It was in the old one. When
Yeah,
it was in the 21, about 15-page one, but when I was doing, I updated it to be 6 pages.
So one would think that something that is a basis for your leadership, and then which you've gone for a training, you would have captured it. But like you have rightly said, I don't see it here. Right. I also think that between 1995 and 1997, at page 1, you write at this other college, you should probably either push the SSC General Act up to join it, or you should push this one down to join it. I think you're talking about the same thing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, having one here and one at the other side is not that good. You should do that. Right. Professional training. So I would have wanted to see the gestal training here as part of this one. But do you have any certificate for this training at
Yes.
Hopkins, Bloomers, and then the AEC evaluation training?
Yes, please.
Were
I
there
have
certificates?
certificates for the Gestal one too. It was a whole year's program. I have the certificates for all.
Right, so probably you should make it available
I will
to
do that.
the committee, so that in our further deliberation we'll consider that one. And employment.
Yeah.
For the first one, year of work, October 2022 to present, and the institution is CEWEFIA. What is CEWEFIA?
It's Sewifia.
Okay.
Sewifia. It's Central and Western Fishmongers Improvement Association. But because our coverage is going more than the Central and Western, we've changed the name to Sewifia. So it's Sewifia, and we are known, we deal with a lot of issues concerning the fisheries industry.
Okay, so it's a recognized acronym?
Yes.
Or it is just you shortening the name?
It's recognized.
Probably, if it is possible, then in the first time using it, you should probably write it in full, and then maybe subsequently you shorten it. So that,
as I said, the name used to be Central and Western Fishmongers, so now we've changed it, so it's now Sewifia.
Okay, so
It's now
the name.
Sewifia.
Okay.
Officially now Sewifia.
Okay. Right. Then let's look at year of work 2018 to 2022. Right.
2018.
Institution, Plan International Ghana, position monitoring and evaluation coordinator. What did your job entail at that place?
Okay, so I was the Central Regional Monitoring and Evaluation Coordinator for Plan International Ghana for 4 years.
Okay.
We were based in Winnipeg, and we were working in about 8 districts. And being the Monitoring and Evaluation Coordinator, I track all progress, all projects, all programs that we coordinate. I do a lot of follow-ups to check and see whether the result that is in the logical framework is being followed. I also work in all the systems that we use. We use SAP a lot. So it's all about systems, and I'll make sure that the MAE data, everything is always uploaded in system on time. I work on the reporting systems, monthly report, quarterly report, annual report. I work on that. I also conduct a lot of activities concerning data collection, more research, and any other thing that is concerned about monitoring and evaluation in the organization.
All right. Okay. So I'm a bit confused about the things you've put under professional bodies.
Yeah.
But probably our views are different. So in the first instance, I would like you to explain what professional bodies are in your own view, and then we can look at the questions that follow.
Okay. Star Ghana Foundation as an organization that is currently embarking on a new concept, Giving for Change. So I'm a member of the working group.
Yeah, so the first question was your understanding of what a professional body is. Once I'm able to get it from your point of view, maybe it will be easier for me to understand what you've put here.
Okay, so a professional body is a body that conducts exams and gives certificates like chartered accountants, chartered HRs, and all that. So I think it's a misplaced word that I use here. Yeah. But these are associations, coalitions, bodies that I belong to. They are coalitions, they are associations that I belong to.
Right.
Yeah.
So then you should clarify that these are not, well, maybe if you say member of Ghana MNE Forum Platform.
Yeah.
Now, even the platform that you put there makes me,
Forum.
but if it's that forum, it means that
forum.
I know this is a professional body,
Yeah.
which is rightly captured,
Yeah.
but there are some here that are not professional bodies in the right sense of the way you define professional body. That is the way I also understand professional bodies. So
Yeah.
those. Then training conducted. In the trainings, were you the facilitator?
Most of them I was the facilitator. Most of them I developed the manuals and do the training and the reporting and everything.
When you say you do the training, you are the facilitator?
I did the facilitator, yes.
Right. So there was this where you trained all schools in Cape Coast
Yes,
in school-based assessment.
yes.
When did you do this? Because there was no date here.
Okay, that one, I was working with GES from 19, you look at it, and I left GES 2013. So the training was in 2011. It was in 2011 that I did that training, and it was a continuous training. I even trained University Primary, University JHS on school-based assessment. The assessment that I used, and I trained them on that when I was there at the education office. So I did this training when I was at the education office, the school-based assessment. Because we moved from the continuous assessment to school-based assessment. So I had the capacity to do that. Abroad don't call schools, private schools, I trained them. Most of the private schools in Cape Coast, I did the training for them.
Yeah, so because if you look at the trainings you've conducted, you can see that there are no timelines, and the purpose of timelines is for verification. If I go anywhere and I said, okay, Michael says he trained all schools in Cape Coast in school-based assessment, then it becomes difficult to verify.
Okay.
So you should do what to put timelines to
Noted.
this thing so that you are able to verify.
Noted.
Again, on that same training, if you look at page 4, the first item, training all schools in Cape Coast, there's something there.
Sorry, I corrected it. When I was
I'm a scientist, I thought it's iron. You know, like.
Sorry. Yes,
so
I've done the correction.
I
Yeah,
circled
sorry.
it here.
Yeah.
Iron principles. I wanted to ask you what is
It's
iron
on
principles.
principles and methods of teaching.
All right, so you should do what?
The next one too is the same. Is
Right.
in Cape Coast.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, this thing speaks
A lot.
a lot about the position you are applying for. A very sensitive and highly, a position that requires accuracy.
Yeah.
And so if you have a CV that you are presenting for such a position with these errors, then it's unfortunate for me. Right, but I'll go on. There's another one on conferences and workshops attended. You could see that for this one, I think there were timelines. There were timelines, but some of them, the places were not mentioned. For example, Star Ghana Foundation Leadership Development Program. That is the third one.
That is the Gestalt one.
That is the Star one.
Yeah. There was
Okay.
some different locations. Yeah.
So yours occurred where?
We had, I think, it was on quarterly basis, and we do coaching. They give us coaching. So we did 3 of them at Walter Serene Hotel and 1 at Sunyani Hotel, that hotel in Sunyani. Yeah.
Okay. You are trained in GIS? You are trained in GIS?
Pardon me?
You are trained in GIS?
Yes, I have a basic training.
You have a basic training
yes,
in GIS?
That helps. As a manager, I need to understand GIS, but I'm not a professional. at
Very
GIS,
nice.
Yeah, but I have the basis in, so that when my officer comes with GIS, I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm also not a professional GIS person, but I have a friend, a secondary school mate, who is a GIS professional at KNUST. He teaches at KNUST. So when I saw your CV, I called him. I said, this presidential aspirant says that he's training GIS, so what question should I ask him? And if I say something that I even don't understand, he said I should ask the basics. So he wanted me to ask you the 5 key components of GIS. That is the most basic question that he asked me to ask you. The 5 key components. Someone says the person is doing to GIS. What are the 5? What are the things that come in mind? If you are not able to mention all the 5, it's not a problem. But what are some of the key components in GIS?
Okay. What I can say, maybe we have an attribute table as part of GIS. We have what I can remember is attribute table that helps us to pick the points and draw the maps. So you can also get I've forgotten most of them, but I remember the attribute table and the rest. This training was done a long time ago. So.
Yes, but you see, when you put it in your CV as current knowledge, then we believe that you have that training, right?
Yeah.
Because this is your merit. Obviously, you could have certificates for them,
Yeah.
but what is a certificate without the backing knowledge to it? So maybe you want to evaluate the things you've put on your CV and determine which one do you have working knowledge in it. Anyway, for that, it says that for you to be able to even tell yourself that you know GIS, you need to have a hardware, a software, you need to have data, you need to have people, and then methods.
Oh, okay.
Right. So as basic as it is for anybody to call themselves a GIS person, right? You need to do that. I think that I'll go with you, the last one. I think because you are the last person, we'll do it short. Right. So, and then you also say that you have knowledge in database administration. Right. You know, this knowledge gives you an edge in my scoring system. So when you tell me that you know MS Access and then my SQL, then I know that for you to know SQL, you are able to solve problems. Right? It's one of the means of solving recent problems. So I want to ask you just a simple question. The same thing I asked with the GIS. What are the 4 data types that I use in my SQL?
I have to be frank here.
Okay.
Some of these skills that I have are managerial approaches that we had short-time trainings, and we didn't go deep into some of this, but I know how to use it.
Okay, so I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Let me provide you with the answer. Numeric, date and time, string, and then specials. So those are the 4 data types that I use. Right. Thank you. I didn't receive the CV of Madam, so I'll leave it. If I have the opportunity, I'll come back to it. I want to have a little bit look at it before I may have some questions on it, if I have. Right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Doc. All right, so it was a nice engagement with Mr. Tvucc Michael on the CV. So Doc have said a lot, but my little, should I say advice, is presenting a document before panel members to be considered for either a portfolio, a job, or anything. You should be concise with whatever you are putting there, to the extent that you can defend it. because it seems there are a lot of experiences you have penned down, but you cannot explain to us. We also want to learn from you. So it seems you are not learning from what you have over here. So in our next engagement or in the next time, I will suggest that you be precise with what you can do and do it well so that it will give you a plus. That notwithstanding, you move on to financial regulation. And with that, dear brother, Emmanuel J. is helping us to do that.
Mr. Teche, you are welcome once again.
Thank you.
I hope you are fine.
I'm fine.
You and your vice. Okay, I'm asking only 3 questions and very few based on financial regulations. First of all, I want to know, we have types of budgets and other stuff, but I want to ask your idea or your knowledge about supplementary budgets and the importance of it.
Okay, thank you very much for your question. We have the main budget that will be approved by an appropriate body, but the supplementary budget is when, let's say, after the approval, something comes out and you realize that you need additional budget to undertake that activity, then you meet the approved and you come with a supplementary budget to be able to undertake that particular activity. And the importance is that it gives room, or it doesn't lock the budget system. Because in project management, a lot of things, issues comes out as you are implementing the activity. So it helps you to be able to solve or implement activities that will come after you've realized that something has gone wrong, then you.
Thank you. You were a team, so if you have an answer, you can. Thank you. You have answered me. Can you tell me 2 functions or duties of audit committee?
So I think the audit committee, first of all, they are responsible for auditing the accounts of Grasag. Grasag Ucc.
And the other one?
Okay, I think they also work and make sure that financial proceedings and everything are always in place.
Okay. My last question, maybe. What process will you follow to open a bank account or a new bank account when you realize that we have enough money and maybe there's bank and where we are saving, like we are not fetching enough profit, and we realize there's an avenue in which we can invest or save and get more profit? Which process will you follow to open a new bank account so far as the Director of Finance is concerned?
Okay, thank you very much for this question. I think before you open, you already have an existing account with a bank, and you want to open a new account. Is it in the same bank or a different
bank account?
So in that one, it's an organization, it's an association. If you go to the bank, they will ask you for a resolution to open that account. So you have to make sure that you have that letter saying that the organization wants to open a new account. Then you take that letter to the bank, you take a form, you fill, and you add all necessary documentations to it, and the bank will help open an account for you.
So, in case if you win, and you become a Grasag president, and if you want to open a new account, first of all, what would you do? If I get you, you just go to the bank and request that you want to open a new account, and So what would you do?
Okay, I think I said that there's a body in the Constitution, the Senate should approve all these decisions. So the Senate will come out with a resolution that the Grasag UCC wants to open an account. Before you can go to the bank with the right person involved, either the financial secretary or to lead in opening the account.
Okay, thank you. Last, initially I said last, but this one is the last. Okay, my last is, what is a valued book?
A valued book. So,
or what can be considered as a valued book, so far as finance is concerned?
The checkbook can be considered. Your payment vouchers, request forms.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Tvucc and then Madam Baba, please, hope we are fine. We are moving to your policy document. I must say that the policy document is about 20 pages. That's quite voluminous, and it appears to be very comprehensive. But whilst I took time to go through everything, and then I must say that it's a repetition throughout the whole thing. So I didn't even know the approaches. I didn't want to go into it because I just wanted to put it aside and then ask you to tell me what they are, because it's a repetition from beginning to the end. I've marked through, you can see them. Everything from beginning to end. It appears so comprehensive. I just wanted to take time to know some of the good things you have for us, but from beginning to end is a repetition of a lot of things. So if you would want us to go through, we can start. Wherever there's a repetition, I've given a reference to that where you repeated that thing, so I can take you back to those things. So we start from page 5. Please, are you there? Page 5. Page 5, you were talking about advocacy for quality education and access to educational opportunities, where you said a lot of things. Now we came down to a place that you tagged as mentorship and support. Mentorship and support, where you said you are going to encourage the creation of mentorship programs that pair graduate students with experienced professionals in their fields of study. These programs can offer advice, networking opportunities, and career development assistance. Under this same point, we have another point captured: professional development and career support. It's even too much. I didn't even add the page numbers. I should have added the page numbers so that, what? Yes, I didn't add page numbers because I wanted to take him to all those places that I have, because it's the same thing. You just look at page 11. Please, those that have can go to page 11, mentorship and supervision. The same thing, connect graduate students with experienced faculty members who can provide support and expertise, and it's the same thing throughout. So I want you as a team to tell us what your policies are, because from this thing, I can just mention like just 3 things that you said, but those things repeated throughout. Partnership between education, industry, and government. This particular thing, it ran through from the first page to the last page. So I'm not seeing any policy that you are bringing on board. So from the book that you presented. So if the team would be generous enough to tell us what your policies are, I'll be so grateful, because I don't want to go in there. Thank you.
All right. So to the team, I think or the impulse of what my co-panel member is saying is there is repetition with some of your points. And she will want you to be clear on the ones that you are bringing on board, so that our line of questioning will come from that field. So you leave it to the team to point it out. When you point it out, then we identify it on the policy that you have here, so that our line of questioning will come from that angle. So to the team.
Okay, thank you. So thank you for being able to identify that. I think it's a plus for you. It shows how competent you are. Thank you. When you look at my policy objectives, objective 1 is looking at advocating for quality education, access to educational opportunities, and all that. For what we are trying to say concerning this policy is that we want to place Grasag graduate students at the stage that whatever they are learning is with the current trend of education. So, for instance, we realize that now if you want to use CAPI, computer assistant devices for research, and we know that for all consultancies, if you send consultancy applications and you go with paper-based, they will not accept. So we are saying that we want to advocate and make sure that every student from the undergrad to master's have that quality to be able to use computer assisted device to collect data. We have the Kobo Collect, we have Point Marker, and all that can be used. We have Google Forms that can be used to do that. But in the university, if you want to do that, you have to go to ICT for them to help you. Just this afternoon, somebody handed over a paper questionnaire to me that I should answer. So that is the level that we will advocate to make sure that whenever we are collecting our data, our research that we are doing, it is always computer assisted. And apart from that too, what we are saying is that we should be linked to conferences. If it's an assignment for graduate students, it shouldn't sit with a lecturer that is just give marks that will go away. We have to advocate and push that this paper, normally we do a lot of term paper, we do a lot of systematic reviews, but this systematic review should be linked to a conference that we can be given the chance to present and, if possible, publish. That is the level that we want to take Grasag to. That is for the first policy. Now, to the second policy, as talking about the job placement, internship, and professional development opportunities. What we want to bring on board is to create a Grasag consultancy or Grasag foundation that will be separate, a social enterprise for Grasag. So with this one, when we are given the chance and when we win, in our first month, we'll register this consultancy so that this consultancy will work as an independent center for Grasag. We know that all the place that we get our funds is through our dues and other fundraising activities. We want to set up this foundation for all the departments. So if it's Grasag, we'll make sure that once it's registered with using our networks, within a month we can register the organization, we can register the NPO, within a month we can register the NPO. Once we register this as a center for Grasag, we put teams in place for all the courses. There are a lot of proposals, call for proposals, that we can source for and get huge sums of money for Grasag members, graduate students, to work with within that aspect. So if it is on education and we are able to win that fund, we use the educational students to implement that intervention. Most of the time, we always think that when you are doing education, that means that you are a teacher, but it's never true. There are a lot of NGOs, a lot of developmental agencies that employ teachers. Most of us don't know. When you go to Plan International, where I work, most of them are teachers. When you go to Ghana National Education Campaign Coalition, which I'm the regional coordinator, all the staff there, all the coordinators, everybody are all teachers, advocating for quality education. So these are some of the policies that we want to bring on board. When you go to Agric, there are a lot of work there, and Doug will bear with me that they have a lot of consultancies that they do as even individuals. How much more a group, a graduate student, having this consultancy? I know that when we are able to do this, it will go a long way. Even if we don't even win, I will continue and I will urge the person that wins to make sure this will be a legacy for Grasag. And I think that this legacy will go a long way to help graduate students. That is one. Now, addressing the welfare issues. When we look at the welfare policy, realize that it's funeral, going for funeral, marriage, and all that. And we're not graduate students. We are matured. Most of us are married with kids. Some even give birth during our time, during student, when you are on campus. Where do you take this student to? We want to advocate and make sure that we have a very good welfare system where we have baby rooms in vantage places where she is laughing because she has not experienced it. If you experience it, my policy is to support children and women. I'm a feminist leader.
Hello.
Hello.
Don't mind our reactions. Just go ahead with whatever you want to tell.
So this baby center will go a long way to help even not only graduate students. This building here, I don't think we have a baby room here. But there are a lot of women here, staff, graduate students that comes around. We employ people, ladies, that can take care of these children when you are in a class learning. When it's time to come and breastfeed, you come and do so that you can get a 2-year breastfeeding for our children to improve their lifestyle. That is one thing. And I also want to come, the stress that we go through as graduate students. So for this welfare, our welfare policies that I want to add to what there is in existence, is to make sure that there are a lot of psychosocial support for graduate students. Most of us are around, and if the experts sit us down, you realize that we have a lot of problems. So these are some of the things that we'll be doing. Then representing the interest of Grasag, that one is a mandatory thing for the team to make sure that the interest of Grasag is always, Grasag UCC is always at hand, and make sure that wherever we are, government policy decision. Now they are talking about the bursary. Bursary is not in. We went through hell to fill the forms and all that. Now it's not in. These are some of the things that we will advocate, doing inclusive way of advocacy to make sure that the money can come on time, no matter how small it is. It can come on time for us to do our work, our research work. And the sixth one is to encourage good governance. You all know that good governance is key to every association. Transparency and accountability, making sure that we always make sure that there's transparency, there's accountability with all our funds, all our programs, and everything that we do. So this is the summary of our policy. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tvucc, but I'm just wondering why you've explained it. Sometimes, simplicity is the best. So why did you choose to provide this voluminous thing which contains almost the same thing? Because the way you've explained it is, I think everybody understands it that way than what you presented. I don't know why you chose to make it this way. Is there any reason?
There's no reason. I think I've learned I've learned my mistake.
Because I'm tempted to say that you were thinking we will not go through the whole thing.
No, never. I don't think that. No.
So you've said it, or all that you've said. What is the new thing? What have you identified? What do you think is the weakness of the current administration? And then the strength, and then what new thing are you bringing on board?
Mr. Chair, I would like to address the welfare issue. There is an existing policy on the welfare. Now, talking about we going, when a member is bereaved, or we attending weddings or funerals of any of our members, I read that delegates will be made to go. And if delegates don't go, on return of the person will be given 25% additional of whatever amount is supposed to be given. But I would say we should rather encourage members to go rather than saying if members don't attend, they'll be given, that member will be given 25% additional of his or her money. At least we are human, and when anything happens to us, emotionally, we are supposed to be consoled and sympathize. We also have to sympathize with people who have troubles. So I would encourage members to go in their full membership, yes, rather than delegates. Delegates can be 1 or 2 people. I know we delegate from the executive council and the senate, and also from our class reps. But if you go in our number, at least money doesn't do everything. But when we see human around us, at least it consoles us. So that's for the welfare.
Okay. So thank you. I think the current administration, you are really working hard, and I've been having conversations with the president, and I've been commending him for the good work that you guys are doing. It's a continuous something. That's why our policies that we are bringing aboard are sustainable ones. You know, they are policies that when it's set up, another person can come and continue, and it will move on. It's not a one-time something that we do and it cannot be sustained. So that is what I'm trying to say. You are doing well. You are really doing well. I wouldn't say that you have a gap. The only thing that we are bringing on board to add on is the Grasag Foundation, and making sure that our women also feel free to give birth during their study. Well, sometimes when they get married and the man wants to start giving birth, he said, let me finish my thesis before I give birth. When there's a system in place, that woman knows that when I even give birth, the school is friendly to cater for my child whilst I continue. There will be peace in the family. So that is one thing that one new thing that we are also trying to bring on board. Then I want to stress on the foundation.
All right, so
Yeah.
Mr. Tvucc, we gave you the opportunity to brief us on your policies, and that opportunity has expired.
Okay.
The question on board is, what are the challenges with the current administration, which is in line with your policy that you want to bring on board? So at the moment you said they are doing well, it means you have not identified any challenge with them. Then we move on to the next question. We have questions specific, each question and what it seems to address. If you are away from the correct answer, it informs us the decision to take about you. So let's be brief on some of the questions. Let's get the question right, answer it, then we move on. It's just clarification so that we will not repeat what you have said already. Because we are coming back to, you want to now stress on the foundation. You gave it the opportunity, then you spoke about the foundation, which is well established and you have understood. So let's be question specific and provide the answer. So the secretary will continue with her line of questioning, if any.
You have commended the current administration, and then you are going to continue, and then you said you are bringing about sustainable policies. So I'm okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. No. Okay. I hope you are good.
Yes.
Great. I if you win and you start the baby room, I'm sure my baby will be the first baby there.
Exactly.
Okay, so I would ask questions based on the Constitution to get to know how well you know Grasag. So I would want to hear more from the vice presidential aspirant for this round. Great. So under the welfare policy, what is the scope of coverage for the welfare policy?
Thank you very much. The welfare covers full graduate students of the university, and it also covers the dean, the vice dean, the deputy registrar, and it covers immediate past executive council, senate chairperson. Yeah.
Okay. Who is the current dean? Dean of Graduate Studies. Is that
Professor Saradapa.
Okay. All right. So, you in your submissions you mentioned Senate. So I would want to know if you can tell us at least 3 officers in Senate. 3, not their names, their portfolios will be fine.
So I think the question is specific to the Vice President, Mr. President. So you give us.
We have the Senate chairperson, and we have reps from the members, the Grasag members.
Officers, as in Senate executives. Yeah.
Okay, we have the Senate chairperson. You also have a secretary.
What's the name for the Secretary of Senate? Not her name, but there's a name because it's like parliamentary rudiment, so it's not just secretary.
Senate secretary.
No. So our secretary is the clerk of the House. Yeah, so we have the Senate chair, the deputy Senate chair, the bench leaders, just as we find in the mother parliament. Okay, the marshal, okay, definitely. So, Mr. President, at what point does one cease to be a member of Grasag Ucc? Yes, please.
Okay, when the person is rusticated.
And any other? There are 2 conditions.
And when a person finishes school, it becomes alumni. It's not a current.
Okay, so the first one is correct when the person is rusticated or when the person does something that brings disrepute to the association. What's the quorum for the General Assembly?
As 10% of the total population, total members of Grasag UCC, then the president of the vice should be there, or the board, the judicial board member can also be there. So when this is met, then we can start the meeting.
Okay, all right. So what are the organs of Grasag?
Okay, so we have the first one is the General Assembly. The first one is the General Assembly. We have the Senate, we have the Executive Council, then we have the Judicial Board.
The General Assembly.
We have the General Assembly, we have the Senate, we have the Executive Council, then we have the Judicial.
What's the composition of the Judicial Board?
The Judicial Board comprises of, I think, 7 members, and they elect their Chief Justice.
No, that's so the election of the Chief Justice goes through the process, but it's a 7-member committee. So there's a Chief Justice, and then there are justices, 6 other justices to help. Yeah, the Chief Justice is appointed by the President. Yeah. there is an appeal board for Grasag. So briefly tell us the composition of the appeal board.
The appeal board comprises the dean, the vice dean, and we have the deputy registrar to be part. So these are the three that I can mention.
Okay, that's false. So the appeals board is made up of the dean or the vice dean, the secretary to the board of graduate studies, the dean of students or his rep, two other members, that is preferably the chief justice, and a member appointed by Senate. So I think I will end it here for my other.
Okay, thank you.
So you want to look at just specific as enshrined in our constitution. I want to start with the vice president. Under what condition would the mandate of the president be assigned to you?
Thank you very much. I will take over the position as a president in case of the president's death, in case of the president's removal, and in case he resigns as a president.
So would you like to take the presidential portfolio as the president? Will you want to take it in any moment?
Any moment from now?
Yes.
As far as my president is still alive and he hasn't resigned, no, I'll still be his vice.
In case the other way.
Yes, so in case.
All right, so let's move on. You've told us your decision, that is fine. So which of the roles of the president is the highest? The roles of the president.
He is the head of the council members.
That is the highest.
He's the final decision maker in the council.
So which one is the highest? There are a number of roles. Which one is the highest?
He presiding over the council meeting.
All right, so you are not giving us the one role which is the highest, so you move on. As part of your duties as the running mate, if power is being given to you, you become the vice president. You chair one of the committees. But before then, I want you to give me the number of committees under the Grasag Association and the one that you will chair.
There are 7 committees, and I will chair the welfare committee.
The names of the committees.
Welfare committee, financial committee, audit committee,
That is fine. You need not to know all, so don't seize the time to remember. You are not in a quiz room where you want to recall whatever you have learned. So when you are fed up with the answers, you move on. You don't expect you to know all, but you have proven that you have a fair idea about it. There is one of the standing committees where you are going to work with them. I want you to tell me the kind of standing committee and the kind of work they will demand from you.
Please, the question again.
A standing committee where the vice president will be working hand in hand with.
The welfare committee.
That is no. Maybe the president will want to help us. Which of the committee is spearheaded by the president? Mr. Techi.
The committee, I spared all the committees. It's not one specific, because for each of the committees, it has its head, and they all report to the president. So I don't have one particular committee that I'm sparing. It's the executive council that I chair. Even that one, I don't take decisions on my own. It's a collective.
That is brilliant, but a clarification.
Okay.
They don't report to you, the president. So at each of the semester, you are supposed to even submit your report. The report does not go to the president. So that is what you are supposed to know.
Okay.
So that when the mandate is given to you, you won't be pushing the heads of department or committees that bring your reports to me. You don't take reports. You should know what you do and what you do not do. What is left for the vice president to do. Vice president, are you aware you take reports?
Yes, please.
You are aware?
Yes.
Which of the reports do you take?
At least I coordinate the committees, so...
Committees? Who said so? You have only one committee that you head.
I read...
You read, you want to quote, you have a copy here. So.
Okay, it's noted.
All right, so you left something out. I said the external affairs will work hand in hand with the vice president. They will need your assistance a lot in writing of sponsorship, seeking for sponsorship. I have some paper on your desk, your table. I don't know if you have seen one paper, official paper. Unfortunately, you could not identify that you are part of them, but you are. I've told you, and I want you to put into writing how to secure a sponsorship. There is a paper on the table, official paper. You put it into writing as you are taking the next set of questions from our other panel member. I'll give a one.
Hi.
Hello.
Please, I hope you're fine.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Okay, Laura and Mr. Michael. Please, what do you understand by abatement of offense? Abatement of offense.
Of offense.
Or abatement offense.
Okay, it's when, let's say I conspire with somebody to commit an offense, then I'm aiding and abetting.
That's fine. That's good. The University of Cape Coast has a 4 broad division. We have the central administration. We have academic division. Can you give me the other 2?
Yes, we have the support services and an office of the dean of students.
Thank you. That's quite right. Thank you very much. Moving on to the sexual harassment. For an effective and timely review of harassment cases, how long do you think it should take for a harassed student to make a report?
Within 3 working days.
No, please.
7.
No, please.
To make a report to the head of
For an effective and timely review of sexual harassment cases, how long do you think it should take a student who has been harassed to report his or her case?
Within 24 hours.
No, please.
Immediately the
Mr. President, can you try?
Yeah, I was thinking that immediately the offense occurs, so that you don't compromise. Evidence.
Okay, so the period is within 31 days.
31 days. Okay.
Yes, please, within 31 days. Are you okay now?
Yeah, thank you.
Please, who appoints the Sexual Harassment Committee, and how many years do they serve on the board?
They serve 3 years.
Okay.
The Vice Chancellor.
The Vice Chancellor. That's quite nice. That's okay. My next question to the President, this is a general question. Can you tell me 3 channels through which you can make your impact felt in the university?
Okay, the first one is through lobbying. That is first one channel that will make my impact felt. And the next one is through advocacy. And the third one will be through networking.
Okay, thank you very much. What offer does your presidency have for undergraduate students?
Yeah, so the offer we have for undergraduates is that we will work hand in hand with the SRC and make sure that they also have the chance to get career awareness campaigns, trainings, and all that, because most of the time you realize that first degree, when you finish, you don't have any experience, but experience can be, can start from level 100 through voluntary, when you vacate, the long vac, you go on voluntary, so by the time the school's internship program starts, you have some experience. So these are some of the career awareness campaigns that we will bring to bear to the undergraduates.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Madam President, my last question goes to you. See, the counseling unit has 4 basic responsibilities they offer to students. Aside academics and personal, what other responsibilities do you think, or what other things do you think they do?
Professional.
No, please.
So I said academics and personal.
Yes.
I read that it's unstable.
Okay, that's fine. Marriage is inclusive. Thank you very much, Che.
All right, so we are wrapping up, and you want to take the last set of questions from Dr. Frifa.
Okay.
Michael, why did you say A? What did I do?
I like your set of questions.
You don't like me.
I like your set
The
of
way you
questions.
said
It makes me
A.
learn more.
All right, good. This one is not going to be a question that you are going to learn more about. It's just a simple. Is any of you staying in the hall?
No.
None of you stays in the hall.
We don't stay in the hall.
Right.
I actually didn't get accommodation in the hall, so I'm at not hostel.
You didn't get,
Yes.
or you didn't apply.
It was full.
It was full.
Yes.
By the
So
time
I'm
you
at the Nat hostel now.
let's talk about you didn't get. By the time you applied, it was full.
Yes.
Or you didn't apply at all.
No. When I learned, when I wanted to come on board, I learned it was full, so I couldn't even apply at all.
When did you want to come on board?
Like when I wanted to come to the hall,
Yeah.
I learned it was full, so I couldn't even apply.
From who you learned it? You learned from.
So I asked those who were staying there.
But they are not the managers of the hall.
Yeah, but at least they have a preview of what is going on in their hall.
So that is where the problem is coming from. Right? There was a hall master, there was a senior hall tutor, there are hall tutors, there's an administrator, there are porters. Students who reside in the hall are not workers of the hall. They don't determine when the hall is full or it is not full. So that's the problem. I wanted to find out if anybody was staying there. Now, as a Grasag president and then the vice, you know that the graduate hall is the only hall for graduate students, whether it is small or not. At least that's the first point of call. But throughout your policies, I didn't hear you mention anything about the hall. So I wanted to know if there was something that it escaped me or there was something that you have in mind for us.
Okay, thank you. I think it's in our policy objective 4. We want to address welfare issues such as housing, healthcare, and social assistance. So it is something that is there, but because we were,
How do you want to address this?
The housing system. Good. So what we are saying is that currently the number of graduate students, the first year students, are more than the number of rooms that we have there. So what we will advocate is for the university to get, maybe if it will be a long term coming out with a new facility, but if they can get a private facility that will be solely for graduate students, we would really like that. So we advocate to make sure that there will be some sessions of private hostels that will be dedicated for graduate students, because most of these graduate students are really complaining that they are not having accommodation at the hall. So that is one thing that we will advocate for.
Right. So, before we carry probably a wrong impression out there, does any of you know the processes you need to go through so that before you get an accommodation to the hall?
Yeah, I know you have to apply. You have to apply in writing to the hall warden.
Okay. Right. So, and because of the limited spaces, it's first come, first serve. So you apply first, you get it. You apply later, like the way you apply, you will not get it. Right. Right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, so thank you very much for coming for this interaction. I always say it has been a fruitful one, but I don't know the length of that fruitful. So it will depend on what my other panel are also saying, but I always say it is a fruitful engagement, and it was a privilege to have you both and to engage you. You want to take your final words, but before then, something has caught my attention. You were supposed to get 2 guarantors, but unfortunately, your running mate is a guarantor to your nomination. No, you may have the second one, yes, but the first one you presented, yes, is the document we have now. And the document at hand is your running mate as your guarantor.
Yeah.
And I think that is not the way forward. 2 guarantors within the whole University of Cape Coast, a graduate student, you couldn't get any.
There's a reason for that.
For
that, but there's a reason for that.
For your running mate to be your guarantor. It's not accepted. No, it's a team, so you should get 2 guarantors. And the running mate cannot be.
It was a system error. Because I was changing the guarantor. Initially, it was a guarantor, and our team had a meeting, and we have to make her experience, we have to make her my running mate. When I went to the system to change, it didn't allow me. So I have to go ahead. Time was going. So that was why when I had the chance, we had a chance to do it again. I have a different one. So it was a system error. The system wasn't friendly for me to change it. So I have a lot of people that can guarantee for me. But it was a system error. Thank you.
For which the error is coming from your
From
end.
the system.
No, you inputted, and the system
So the
did
system
not
should-
prevent
should be-
you.
The system should be friendly enough to change at all times. That is how systems work.
I'll take that as a recommendation from you. But in the first place,
Yeah,
you
sorry
should
for
know your running mate, to know of your guarantors before even doing the input. You inputted and now went back to your team for a decision before coming on board, which is an error on your side too. Maybe you want to admit to that.
No, I will not admit, because that one was a system something, and I will have changed it. So the current one is not that. So that
All
one
right.
is not. the current one
That is okay. So, what will be your recommendation for the system and to the whole session of the vetting?
The vetting went well. I like your set of questions. It's professional, and I commend the team for doing this work. The system, it should be friendly. It should be able to change it at all times. It shouldn't be locked so that some of these issues will not occur again. So that is my advice for the development.
All right, it's supposed to be a submission. The advice is going to be a little strong word. All right, so we thank you for showing up, and you hear from us. But before you leave, you submit your payment details. The one from the portal, which indicates that you have a carried forward balance of 0 or more. Maybe the school is owing you. If you have it with you, you submit it to us. All right, so on that note, you want to address our audience. Yes, please. You have to pick it. Both. So on that note, you want to address our audience viewing us from afar that this session has been brought to an end, and indeed it has been a fruitful engagement. And I think our audience have experienced something new from our coming executives. Hopeful if the vetting result goes in their favor. And the way forward, you also thank Tvucc for the avenue given us to also exhibit ourselves and use their platform for such a fruitful discussion. The way forward, I will recommend that the next administration will engage Tvucc on a lot of our activities so that it will go far, not just in UCC, but to others from afar to also know what is happening here. And I think this recommendation is going far, and they are going to use it. Thank you all for watching us live. You will bring you the next session after the vetting result has been displayed. That will be the debate for the presidential candidate. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, the chair. Is the date available for the presidential debate?
Yeah, it was scheduled on a certain date, but because of the delay on the vetting process, ideally the vetting happened to be rescheduled. So it has pushed some of the dates, and we are now thinking through to know when to confirm the exact date.
All right, that's fine. Thank you. We would draw closer to you to get a confirmation on the date and the venue. And of course, people do remember that we shall also come to you live with that feed, the presidential debate and the face-to-face. And of course, the nominees or the candidates, those who pass the vetting, would also be reading their manifesto on ATLFM 100.5. That would also be live on Tvucc. So do make sure that you make time with us that day. I'm Louise McQueen. You can call me the PDF. This is where we draw the curtain on this exercise, but we'll pick your message. Prince, Cat, CP. Wow, big ideas. This is what we need. Thank you, Michael. On that note, we'd also say thank you, Graduate Student Association of University of Cape Coast, and to you for making time with us. Until we meet again, we'll say bye-bye for now. But do remember that if you have not subscribed to our channel, this is the time. Subscribe hit on the notification icon so that we always get alert and share our content. This is TV UCC.